And it's only your heroes, right? Hero on heroes.
Only one.
Oh god, I didn't even realize it was only your heroes. Yeah, okay, this is definitely the worst one. Holy shit.
If you take this to a tournament, you could win a game. Or maybe two.
Welcome everyone to Into the West. It's Charles. With me today are Richard and Ian, and we are back with a tier list of all the evil armies. We'll be covering all 46 armies in the Forces of Evil from the 3 books as well as Legacies. This is a follow-up to our Forces of Good tier list, so if you haven't checked that out yet, please go and check that out. We'll start with the armies from the armies of the Lord of the Rings. All right, so the first army we have is Barad-dur.
I don't think this one changed much in this new edition. I haven't really seen it at all much in tournament play.
Any army where there's extra conditions for your opponent to score the break is good because it's just really good VP denial. Especially now that I think like breaking has gone up in terms of VPs in a lot of scenarios as well. So that's really solid. And then Sauron's fight 9 still, right? So he's with strike being worse, he's like much more of a threat, and barge is also really good on him. So Sauron went up in a lot of utility. It's kind of unfortunate, like because Depths of Moria, which we'll get to later, is kind of similar, but it just has better army bonuses in addition to the breaking thing. So the orcs just melt in this list, just I think way faster than like the goblins do in depth. So I think that's kind of where it gets let down, even though Sauron is probably better than the Balrog. Well, debatably better, I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't know if Sauron's better than the Balrog. I mean, value wise, at least.
Yeah, he's got more tools, but maybe he's not as better without the free combats.
Yeah, but you're right. There's quite a few monsters in this army, and Sauron is dominant 10. That's huge. So that used to be one of the things that this army struggled with, objective play, because you actually didn't have that great numbers. And then now, with Sauron, you can almost guarantee an objective. So that's kind of nice. Maybe we just haven't seen this army as much because so far in this edition, it seems like most tournaments have leaned towards lower points value, at least in North America. It would be interesting, I think, to see its full potential at maybe 800 and 800 and up.
Yeah, I think Barad-dur is a pretty solid fortitude army.
I think that's a good start.
The Black Riders.
This one had a fall from grace. I think this one is quite rough now. The ring rates are a lot worse.
Probably deserved. It was like one of the like no fun play experiences that people had last edition, so it's kind of fair. I think the stacking, the negative stacking only caps at 2 now, right? It's not 3, which is yeah, that's a big difference. It's still really good, but that is a big difference.
You can't customize the Might Will Fate now,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing because the regular ring wraiths are stuck on 1 might and the Witch King's on 2. So previously, if you were playing like 5, 6 wraiths, you probably had double the amount of might than now. And then obviously
Yeah.
certain spells like Black Dart have been nerfed, so it's hard for you to load up and just basically snipe the enemy general in first turn or something, right? And then run away. Let's say you're channeling to get that Black Dart. If they're defense 7,
Oh,
then you have 1 might left on the regular Nazgul,
yeah.
to get the wound. So you need at least a 4.
They're 1 might.
Oh yes, yeah. So never mind. I was talking to the
Yeah.
Witch King. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's even more
Yeah.
legit. You get
No,
one channel if you want.
you're right. And I'm looking at their special rule, the Screech. It says only a single ring wraith can use the special rule each turn. That's a huge nerf. That's huge because it used to be like a bunch of them would just screech and like they basically guaranteed to immobilize a hero on a turn. Like there's no way you could stop it or multiple heroes. So
I know, Ian, you say that this is they deserve it because of last edition, but at the same time, looking at it now, it just looks pretty hard to play. Like, is this what you want?
No, this feels heavy-handed. It's like the same thing as like the next list that we're gonna go through. That's a pretty heavy hit.
But I still think something like this, personally, as a tournament goer, I'm happy like these kind of lists gotten, heavy-handed nerfs like this instead of remaining as before because it's just not fun to play against when even if you balance it properly and it's fair, it's not an enjoyable time to play against something like this, right? If anything, they made it more like straightforward and fun. It's like less dependent on magic, but like the rates are to attack. Maybe they're a bit more choppy.
I'd put this pretty low.
Mhm.
Just because like you can't like you're forced to take the 110 point wraiths, and that's pretty rough. I mean, they do have the extra attack though. That is the one buff that they got. They all get the extra. They all start base 2 attacks. But
Yeah, I think this is a question between minor or independent, to be honest. It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because just think, how many would you be taking at like 600 points? You would have 5 models.
yeah. Just losing the customization, and then they're forced to take a horse that's now worth double what it was before. Like you used to just take like the base with like nothing, maybe like a point of might and fate, maybe. And that's way cheaper than whatever this was, right? That would be what was that last edition? That would be like 75 points, I think. And now you're locked into this 110 point version, which is
I agree with Richard. There's potential that this is independent. Kind of want to see what else is in that range first. So maybe we can start with minor. I actually don't know if this is playable. I haven't seen anyone play it.
Offhand, I want to put independent first just because
yeah,
if you've ever seen high level play before, it's weird because it's not like usually we say like, compel is like the main spell or like, heavy transfixes, but this army relied on spamming black dart before. And I'm just not seeing that being possible. And there's also 6-inch range on the black dart. So the black dart itself is near unusable. So
Mhm.
essentially, you just have a couple fight five to attack horsemen on one might. It's a bunch of like mounted captains,
I
arguably
mean,
worse. I don't know. It's bad.
A lot of all hero armies have like dominant, extra dominant. This list doesn't even have that. So you're gonna struggle really hard in objectives, right? They're all Dom 1.
yeah, that's true. Except the Witch King will be
Yeah,
Dom 3, but like, who
because
cares?
I'm just not seeing it
Yeah,
where if someone has a shield wall line, sure they're not charging you. They have a couple bows and they're just shooting you. What do you do? Do you just crash into their line? And then they put their leader a little bit far back so you can't even gamble on the black darts. Like it kind of seems like it's game over to me. I don't want to be the Black Riders.
Garbage. Absolute garbage.
I don't know. Maybe
I
I'm going overboard with it, but it's the nerfs are piling on.
well, and then just the fight 5 being more prolific everywhere else. The Witch King's great now. I mean, fight 6 is good for him, but like the other wraiths are still at 5.
I think before you rely on bring the enemy's courage down so much that they aren't able to charge you, but now with the maximum -2 and drain courage now is a 4 plus, it's harder to pull that off as well.
And by the way, this Witch King, fight 6, yes, but only 2 attack, 2 might.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wraiths to 2 attacks is great, but still just 1 might, 1 fate.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Like 1 lost combat, they can go down to like a lucky, even like a strength 3, like a lucky strength 3 hit,
They're going to get shot down.
or just shut off. Yeah. That'd be fine because that was fine before, but you just don't have the numbers to compensate for them being so weak.
Yeah. Okay. Wraiths on Wings, another all ring wraith list.
Same list, but mounted on Felbeast.
Also kind of rough.
The stats are better, the base stats are better, but still rough.
The army bonus is it looks like so much fun, but it's such a meme. You buy Fell Beast for like these situational strength 5 hits.
It's basically an impale.
Strength 5 Impale, and then you can also choose to fly over. So it's almost like
Pluck.
the old pluck, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not like the Impale where it keeps going. It only does it once, and it stops doing the on the way into combat. So it's a higher strength, but like
Oh,
one thing that's gross about
yeah.
Impale is that it keeps going. Not
Yeah,
that it's
so a camel impact hit could potentially be more dangerous
yes,
if you have like a bunch of like D3 or D4.
yeah, yeah.
Which is hilarious. You're like, no, not the camel. Oh, Felbeast? No, I'm fine. I'll tank that.
It's rough. At least the Witch King can get the Crown of Morgul in this one, which is good for like preventing fearless stuff, special rules from working. In this, like that'd be great. It'd be a lot more helpful in the other list as well, but it's still not great.
Another issue with this list is how it builds out. The points are stupid. So
I was just gonna say that because the crown's the only thing that's in a 5 point interval in the list. What the fuck?
yeah. So if you go naked, like no add-ons whatsoever, you're trying to save on cost. Witch King and 2 Felbeast with basically no non-mandatory gear, just on the Felbeast, 510 points. Guess who is playing 510 points? No one. So basically unplayable for under 500. I mean, if you go Witch King and 1 Ring Ray, what is that? 340. You hope for a 350
Yeah.
point tournament and you play 10 points down. I mean, you could grab the Morgul Blade.
At
And
like
the armor fell beast.
yeah.
Yeah, that was just stupid. So next one is you play at 700, right? And then
Well, you do like 550 or 600. 600 would be not be good, but 550 would be okay.
550 and then grab some gear, 3
Yeah.
Beast. But again, not a lot of 550 tournaments going around for some reason. I think 700 maybe. You
Yeah.
go you go 4 Beast, which is 680, and then you can grab maybe 2 Morgul Blades.
But but like the Crown of Morgul would actually be good, but how do you fit it in there? Because like this is one you really want to take it in. You actually really want it in this list, and you seem like you can't fit it. Ah.
1,000 points.
Does this mean this is at baseline would be independent because it's unplayable at so many points values?
Yeah, I think it's pretty freaking
Honestly,
bad.
yeah. Because like by the time you get up to those big points values, though, you're going to be facing like big monsters,
Yeah.
like big
And
heroes that can one shot one of the wraiths easily if they get a turn on and like unimmobilized.
yeah, and the Witch King on Fell Beast is, yes, he's a threat, but most of the time he's being backed up by an army. And a regular budget Wraith on Fell Beast is honestly
But
not that threatening when people don't have to worry about anything else.
is it to attack Witch King? He's not even getting the big numbers on the charge, so he
Yeah.
has to like enchant blades himself. Maybe then he becomes more of a threat. But then that's still just 3 dice to win the fight, backed up by 2 might. Or
Yeah.
if he gets countercharged too, like ugh.
This could have easily been playable at any points level if they just made the stats customizable,
Just
even
for
if it's
this
just for this
army, yeah.
army, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes below Black Riders. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah. Because what used to make this kind of list work was you had the named wraiths, and at least some of them brought like nice special rules to like counteract things. Yeah, it's rough. The base 2 attacks doesn't matter in this list, like at all, because you're all on fell beasts anyway. So you're all gonna be on 2 attacks.
Do
Yeah.
you guys think it's worse? I mean, because it has more raw stats than the Black Riders. Because I don't know. I guess they're both utter crap,
Monsters are
but
well,
because you have
yeah,
a way to victory, right? With the Felbeast, you could probably get to the enemy general if they don't play like bubble him well. You could
yeah.
get in there, do some
Okay.
pearls, do some barges.
Well,
It depends how much we factor in list building.
Yeah,
It's easier to build with Black Riders.
100%.
I think they're basically even actually. Just because of the buffs by the monsters
Mhm.
this edition are really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, they're both in it. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay.
I'm fine with a tie.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
fine
who
with a
Sure.
cares?
tie.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Okay. Okay,
Actually,
let's
I
move
changed my
on.
mind. Let's just, yeah, who cares?
Yup, you're all tied for last place.
Army of Gothmog. For a while, I was thinking that felt really sad for this list before Legacies came back because they lost so many heroes and didn't gain very much. A lot of people were disappointed at Gothmog's nerf at the start of the edition, but at least he went down points a little bit. I think he's still pretty decent as a hero.
How do you build this now? Do you go Gothmog and like a couple trolls to back him up with like a couple heroes? Like, I don't know.
Get the siege bows.
Well, that's true.
I think one of the main negatives is they lost the access to regular orcs,
Mm.
so you're only on Mirandans.
Do they gain shamans?
They do have the Mordor shaman though.
Okay.
So they do have fury,
Cool.
which is important, yeah.
And like the Mirandans are better than they were before because now they can get to fight for. It's conditional against men, but there's so many armies of men out there and so many lists that have men like allied in. So uh, I think the fight for on the Mirandans is actually really solid, and they can still get double rank D6, which is big.
And they're sneakily intelligent on a 7+, which are smarter than orcs and goblins.
For evil, I guess. Average intelligence.
These brainiacs. I honestly think it's probably similar to before, right? Like, it's a fortitude army. It's solid. You could get good numbers, decent mid-level heroes, but yeah, you don't really have like answers to big heroes. You just have to either take a siege weapon and hope you can shoot them down, or I guess just try to overpower with numbers.
I think this might be a contender for like the double troll build in this now. But then you're not taking the other toys, right? If you do that,
Yeah, fair.
the
You can get
those are
the
looking
yeah. Can you get the drum? Yeah, you could get the war drum on the troll.
Yeah.
You want?
Yeah, yeah. It's fast. I see some play with that.
In
And the
front or
hero
behind
choices.
Barad-dur?
Solid. Ooh. Mm,
It's probably behind. Barad-dur is probably a bit scarier with Sauron, in my opinion.
Army of Gothmog might be easier to build at mid to lower points, but
Army of Gothmog is probably easier to play as well, because to get value out of a model like Sauron
mhm,
mhm.
will probably take a bit of experience.
yeah.
Like, if you're just starting out the game, then Army of Gothmog will probably do more work for you.
It scales at like pretty much most points values, right? Whereas Barad-dur doesn't really scale up until you get to probably at least 600 points, if not 700, I think. It's probably
Mm.
where it really becomes viable. So
Yeah. Okay, Legions of Mordor. This is the Mordor soup.
Everyone was hoping this was the evil Defenders of the Pelennor, but it's not quite.
also home to perhaps the worst army bonus. Like, it's pretty bad.
You don't like reroll ones?
It's conditional only against heroes. What the hell is that?
And it's only your heroes, right? Hero on heroes.
Only one.
Oh God, I didn't even realize it was only your heroes. Yeah, okay, this is definitely the worst one. Holy shit. I
And
thought
keyword lock to warbands as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They were really afraid of what could come out of this army, I guess.
Apparently. I mean, they did add just like so much stuff to this, right? With the
Yeah.
new book, but they also added so much stuff to
A lot of other
Legions of
ones.
the Great Eye or Army of the Great Eye. So
Yeah.
this is your soup list, though, your evil soup list, and that is your bonuses. You can run, Amdur with the Golden. Can you get Golden King? Is he in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can run everybody together, all your favorite heroes, and that's just kind of what the thing is.
Yeah,
If you miss the old Witch King Saladin, this is the way to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
the men with the orcs, basically, because the other ones are kind of segregated by, those races.
To be fair, that army bonus is actually useful on like Amdor and some of those heroes who actually want to duel. They're well, a
No,
lot of use,
no, it's
but
not. No, no,
it's not good.
no, no.
It's not good.
Stop.
Not good. Not
Good try, Ian. Good try.
good. Well, I got excited because I thought of Amdor rerolling once. I was like, oh, but it's so bad. It's so bad. That's it. That's so bad.
See,
Uh,
that's what Jay wants you to be excited about. Reroll ones. Conditional reroll ones.
they took it away from me everywhere, so now I get really excited.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking of this one?
Mm,
To me, this seems like a fun army. It's like if you want lots of options, but there's but just basically what Ian said, it's basically no bonuses.
I think this one is probably a little better than it comes off, in the sense that like no one is talking about it, because there's other like soups like we just mentioned that are coming up that are just more interesting. Like those ones have slightly less options, but they're just more exciting because they have better like bonuses, right? And they're still have enough variety that it still feels a little soupy. Whereas this one is like you don't feel like you need to go to that level. So I think that's why people are not excited about it. But I do think like if we didn't have, the other armies and just in a vacuum, this isn't terrible.
I would be willing to put it at bottom of Valor just because of all the stuff it has available to it.
Hmm.
I think still top of
It's
fortitude.
but it's on thin ice. Yeah, I top of Fortitude I'd be good with.
Minas Morgul.
Ooh, this is a spicy one.
It's so scary at the start of the edition, and now everybody's like really softened on it. I still think it's solid. The way to build it is you just spam out as many normal orcs as you can. And you probably don't touch the basic ring wraiths unless they're on foot. Maybe.
I think it's weird because there's a lot of people who rate it and there's a lot of people who think it's overrated. I think partly because it's so skewed. And it's weird because it has a lot of options, so you feel like it should be well-rounded, but it just plays so skewed, right? Like it has some really bad matchups, but if you don't come up against them, it's a very, very scary army to go against. And with legacies and armies in Middle Earth, you're getting Kardish now on top of a, I would say, already competitive list, and Morgul Stalkers, Orc Trackers. I know the trackers are a little bit worse, but still, like that's a little bit of objective taking shooters. It's not bad to have.
Kardish getting added to this list was whack.
Yeah, that's a lot of spell pressure coming your way. You're going to be able to easily snipe banners and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So like I don't know, him comboed with like a solid Witch King, and then like you still have the specters that are useful, and they also confer the like one of the army bonuses, which is really good.
Yeah, I also think the new scenarios are more suitable for Minas Morgul compared to the first six that we were stuck in the first 6 months. The fact that they have access to the Mordor Orc Drummer and your most of your army is going to be orcs, right? I think makes it really scary. There's a lot of scenarios now that are gunning towards the center of the board. So yeah, and if you're talking about like intelligence, they still have their heroes that can pick those up. You can get like the Witch King on Velbeast. And before the new material, I would be on the borderline of Legend and Valor. But I think now, I think it does pip into Legend. I don't know. Am I crazy?
I haven't looked at the updated stats from Tabletop Admiral. I don't know where it's sitting.
This is
Win
not about popularity, Ian.
but it helps. Win
This is
loss wise. I mean,
this is not about educated guesses based on stats.
this is all with our hearts.
I think maybe potential for legend, but I would like to put in Valor first and then kind of see how the rankings are at the end before deciding.
I think I'm with Charles on that one. I'm not sure if it's quite in Legend. I kind of want it to be just because like orcs wounding on courage is like wild, but
Yeah.
those orcs also do melt pretty fast, so
Cirith Ungol.
Why does Shelob still have to have so many conditions just to get an extra attack? It's not like she was busted in the first place. And why do Mordor Urkai have to be so bad?
they're not great.
They try to make them better every edition, and then this edition's like, okay, they don't have shields on the models, got to remove them. Worse than they've ever been now,
Yeah,
arguably.
like their base profile got a buff, but it's like doesn't matter. Because yeah, they did get rid of the bow option, right?
Yeah, because it's not on the model.
Yeah, you don't even get like the
They
strength.
got rid of the shield option, so you're stuck at D4.
Yeah.
What's the wounding bonus that they got?
It's cleaving blow. I think they do 2 wounds if it's a
Two
natural
wounds
six.
if they get a 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like it's neat. You can take some with two-handed weapons because that's like nice to have. And like two-handed weapons are like a nice wounding bonus because your army building is so weird. It kind of like screws you a little bit.
It's just sad because I think this one is a lot of people's, I wouldn't say favorites, but we've actually gotten surprisingly, a lot of questions from different listeners about this army because I think it's interesting and people care about the lore and this side of the story. So unfortunately, it's not good. Now, whether we put them in fortitude near the bottom end or minor, I'll leave up to you guys.
I
I think it's still
feel
in Fortitude.
yeah, I think so.
You just probably don't want to take a lot of Urkai.
Which is yeah, it's weird with the army building, but
Yeah.
it's Shelob, which is pretty fun and like pretty like a decent like still a solid profile, right? With all the buffs that she gets in the list.
I did just see that Shagrat gets the fight six, which is kind of nice though.
Yeah, but he's stuck at D5 now.
Yeah.
Eh.
And he doesn't have the around
The shield?
the shield
Shield of
anymore.
Cirith Ungol? No.
No.
Okay. Put it at the bottom of Fortitude for now. The Black Gate.
Yeah.
Chiefy lives on.
Yes. And they got some fun army bonuses. I would say this one was already pretty solid in the last edition. I've played against this. The Temptation of Sauron is quite good as an army bonus. Depending on what army you're playing against, though, if you're playing against an evil army, it's absolutely cooked because it's based on intelligence tests. You're essentially getting like a free compel slash old specter test. It's insane.
So
Insane value.
I've only played against this once. I was using the Last Alliance list. He did it on my Isildur. I rolled Snake Eyes, and I was like, I think I have to spend all my might on this because otherwise he's just out of the game for these 2 turns, which are going to be the 2 turns of combat that are going to be super important. And then we're going to time out. So I think if I don't do this, I just lose one of my heroes for the whole game, basically, that matters, which is crazy to think about. So yeah, it's a pretty solid rule if it pops off, over the course of the game, you should get a decent one.
Yeah. I was playing the white hand too, and Grima and the Crebain were just being moved around. So even in a very competitive army that I was using, like, yeah, you're going to see a lot of play. I forgot, was it you, Ian, that we were talking about how the Mouth of Sauron has quite a bit of play because you're not going to really mount him now because the armored horse is too expensive, but just as a caster, like you have two might,
Yes.
you throw it into channels, and suddenly he's a very, very value caster.
Yeah. 2 guaranteed casts of a transfix on a 6 plus another one on 2 dice. He's reliably getting all 3 of those off. And it's just a lot of pressure on your opponent really quickly. And he doesn't need to be doing anything other than casting while he still has will and might left. He's happy just to sit there and do that.
If he's stopping your, let's say, Boromir or Imrahil for 2 turns, you probably win the game with the troll chief like chopping at their ranks.
Yeah. I wouldn't go for the Ring Wraith as a backup, but if you also have the Ring Wraith in there too, then that's just extra pressure, right? And the effective animosity thing is really good. +1 to wound on strength 4 troops is hot.
Yeah, that's probably still the best special rule. Best thing about this army.
Well, the fearless special rule on the Troll Chief is really good.
Yeah, previous edition, the main issue with this army was that it didn't really scale. So it was good at lower points, and then as you go up, you were just taking generic captains. Now that monsters are better, I think I have seen people go for additional trolls, and like you guys mentioned, there is like also the Ring Wraith option, though probably might not be the most efficient option, but you can also get more magic in there as well, right? And more different types of monsters.
You can also just do double Chiefy route, which is still really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the monsters where they are right now, right? Fight 8 monsters are scary.
Yeah. Where do you guys think this one ranks?
Well, this one is to me below Minas Morgul for sure and above Legions of Mordor, but I don't
Yeah.
know where.
Yep.
There's a big gap right now.
I think bottom of Valor or somewhere around the bottom, like depending whatever else gets added in. I think it gets in there.
That's fair. Yeah.
It might end up maybe middle of Valor with whatever else gets added.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do we need to review the next one?
Army of the White Hand. Well, we did talk about it in our best armies right now video that this is one of the best armies right now.
This is the evil
Top.
soup list that we all wanted, or that
Should-
nobody wanted, but we all got.
This will drop around end of July, beginning of August. So I guess the caveat, listeners, if you're watching this after the FAQ, who knows what GW will do to this army. But before the August 2025 FAQ, this army is in a tier of its own. Good and evil armies included.
Yeah, it's kind of cracked. I forget who it was, but on the Patreon, we were talking about this, and somebody was just like, "Yeah, I kind of just stopped considering it when army building because like it doesn't matter what you do." I thought that was a very helpful way to think of it, honestly, because like you're just gonna go crazy trying to think of how to like deal with this, and it's just gonna screw your army building up.
Yeah. When we were reviewing the legacy profiles, we were like, this is nice that it's added to Army of the White Hand, but it didn't really need it.
It's just like, why? Like, what's the point? Distracting people from the good stuff.
Anyway, that was the easy one.
If you want more of our thoughts on Army of the White Hand, go check out the video where we talk about the top armies. Okay, Ugluk Scouts. So we had this as one of the runner-up armies in that same video.
Yeah, I think it's still very good. I think it's quite dominant at lower points. And with the new scenarios, I can't help that think that that would just only help them because one of their main things is they're fast and they're killy, right? And yeah, that's going to be big.
And just the numbers too. And there's a lot more of this is such a small thing, but there's a lot more objective scenarios where Ugluk special rule will actually matter. The campfire thing, which is big. It's more so what you were saying, but that's also just a nice little buff. It's a surprisingly killy list when you don't think about it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, my generic Uruk has like +3 to wound.
The scout captain.
Yeah. He can get to 3, but then like the regular Urks can get to +2 to wound, which is crazy.
I would probably slot this between Minas Morgul and the Black Gate, purely because I think it doesn't quite scale as well as Minas Morgul to the high points. If we're talking like 800.
Mm.
See what you're saying?
Wolves of Isengard.
Didn't this one get some fat buffs?
It's not a meme anymore.
It's still a meme. It's just a usable meme now.
They gain an extra attack when charging Cav.
Yeah. Sharku got useful, which is nice because he was pretty bad before being capped at fight 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can hit the fight 5 now.
Mm.
I mean, still a little rough just considering all the other fight 5, but it's something, right?
He can get up to 3 attacks to base, so that's pretty nasty. He's a
That's
beast.
still just him though.
Yeah. He did get some points increases, but yeah, I think it's a nice buff.
You can abuse the throwing spear limit, going up to 50%.
Ooh, they gave us 50% on an army that hits on 5s. Ooh,
Hey, but they're only 1 point.
they're just like everybody else now.
I think maybe this army has legs at lower points. With those buffs, I can see it working depending on the pack, right? If there's a lot of mobility scenarios.
I'd say it climbed out of independent being like maybe the worst or second worst army in the last edition
Mhm.
to just, a minor tier.
Hey,
Yeah.
the
You
fact that
could,
it's looking a lot better than the Black Riders, that's a pretty big difference. That's a pretty big change for them.
if you take this to a tournament, you could win a game or maybe two.
Well, that's
Well,
setting the bar real low there. Holy.
Black Riders fell pretty far, to be fair. Lurtz scouts.
It's like Ugluk scouts, but at home.
Yeah. It just feels like a less powered up version because the army bonuses are less crazy. Like the Ugluks +1 to wound bonuses are just better, right? There's still some decent ones like Lurtz, become General Hunter, free hero combats, and then they also get like the Isengard like 66 to break instead of 50, which is actually really, really nice.
You lose spears, which I mean, I know it's kind of limiting because you're using the mobility, right? Like this still competes with Ugluks at like super low points, but once you get up to like 600 points, it's not nearly as good. Especially too because Ugluk special rule, there's no orcs for him to kill, so it's just a worse rule. Yeah, you're losing out on a whole lot of things. But at super low points, yeah, you're getting the efficiency of like Lurtz being fight 6 free hero combats and like strength 5. Like he could still chew through a bunch of stuff.
I don't know if this goes in Valor. I think it's Fortitude. What do you guys think?
I think it's Fortitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Lurtz is only a big hero until actual big heroes show up.
It still has the mobility, really good mobility though, so near the top of Fortitude.
I'll have to see about that. I don't know if it goes above or below Army of Gothmog, to be honest.
Hmm.
Mm,
Maybe below.
yeah. Yeah, I think it being tied close to Cirith Ungol makes sense to me. They're different lists, but like I feel like their overall competitiveness is roughly.
I think right now it's because we have limited armies in Fortitude, but I think it's more like middle of Fortitude.
Salt upon Helm's Deep. It gets worse every time I turn around and look at it.
I don't feel so good. I don't know what's happening. I don't want to go.
Stop turning around. Just Charles, stop. I feel like it's at the level now of that I thought it was at when I first looked at it when it launched, and I was like, eh. Didn't realize the potential, and then they got rid of all the potentials.
Your bonuses are still good, but it's just, you're playing it essentially for the siege weapons because you just have Uruk-hai and siege weapons, right?
Yeah, unless they added the Isengard troll back in. I would have to check.
They do have the Isengard troll.
Okay. I've never seen anyone take it, but
Never
it's
seen
gotten
them.
better, so yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes the cut here. For 10 Uruk-hai, still not good enough here.
The Ballista went up in a bunch of points, right? I'm just trying to pull up the list
Yeah,
now.
it went up 10. So it used to be 65, and then now it's 75. I know it's a different army, but it just seems so much worse than the Dale Windlands
Yeah.
because it's still 4+ to shoot, and it's still good. I mean, you're re-rolling ones to hit and to scatter, right? So
Yeah. And they got the shamans added, right?
They do have the shamans, yeah.
Which is good. Like getting extra fearless and stuff in there, like the
Yeah.
utility things is
Yeah.
nice.
It's probably Fortitude, but I just, like Charles said, I think the first tier list we did way back when in the last edition, Legend, and then after a couple nerfs, like maybe it was Valor. But yeah, I think for me now, it's dropped down one more.
You think top of fortitude? But the Uruk-hai got shield wall.
Berserkers got better too, but I think
Fine.
they lost the bonus where heroes gain warband space, so now it's harder to
Oh,
spam them.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Fortitude, I think.
Yeah, okay, given the scenarios, yes. I could see that in like the first section, first few months here, it would have done a
It
lot
would
better
have been
because
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
shooting heavy. But yeah, that warband, ooh, yeah, that hurts.
I think the funny thing is that people were, I guess, wanting to try new things. So we didn't even see it in the
Yeah,
first 6 months. But yeah, I think that would have been the time to use it if you wanted to play it.
yeah. Because there's just so many scenarios where you gotta run up. Is there a way to get the drummer in this?
And no drummer.
No.
Hmm.
Because the Urk drummer is a scout,
Yeah. Ooh,
so they don't have scouts.
So, I mean,
that's
you have a lot of captains, but yeah, it's just the standard march, and then it'd be
you don't
harder
want
to
to
fire
spend
the
your
ballista. Yeah.
you don't want to spend your limited might on that. And your only answer to big hero, well, I guess you still have the bomb,
Yeah.
but like, what do you do if somebody throws the Balrog at you, just the Balrog, and holds the rest of their army back?
Yeah.
Like you shoot into combat, I guess, but that's it.
Yeah. I think this probably middle or lower end of Fortitude. What do you guys think?
Maybe above Army of Gothmog.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Muster of Isengard.
This one got a lot of discussion early on in this edition. I think a lot of people compared it to the White Hand, so it's obviously not as good as the White Hand, but it has some nice rules, I think. You're still taking Saruman and Grima, which is very good. Hatred of Man, like as much as I hate that rule, like it's probably one of the best hatred. You're gonna
Well,
activate that a lot.
it's just on strength 4 troops, which is great. I think this is like the way you do this one is like the old Berserker spam, maybe. Just Saruman and like a bunch of fight 5 Berserkers backed up by some pikes and banners. Like your numbers will be limited, but that's a really grindy shield wall or battle line, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And I actually think it got better now with the new scenarios. They have access to the drummer, and they get the army bonus grants them free marches, right, for the first turn. So that's in a lot more armies. And yeah, you take two captains, and even if your armies are separated in like a divide and conquer or like a convergence, you're marching with both sides, which a lot of armies won't have double march.
And let us not forget, they have one of the most cooked models in the game right now. Grima. So just objective play with that is huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this one easily is in Valor.
Yeah.
Okay. Where?
I think it's better than Blackgate, but I don't know if it's better than Ugluk Scouts because it's kind of different. I
Hmm.
think Ugluk Scouts will dominate more at lower, and then Muster would dominate at, or maybe not dominate, but like definitely do better than Ugluk
Yeah.
Scouts.
Saruman just being so expensive and then also having expensive troops. It's rough at low points. I'd be good with that.
Yeah, probably works.
I also just want to say I think this is really funny that so far all of these Isengard lists are ranking vastly above all the Rohan lists.
Is it funny or is it sad?
It's kind of sad. But you know what? Last edition Rohan got a shit ton of love, and this edition Isengard's getting a lot of love, so it's probably fine.
Usurpers of Edoras. We got the starter set army.
Well, this one is pretty straightforward. I think it's a very hoardy army. I've seen it actually played a couple times at low points, and it's actually better than you think. The bonuses are okay. So it's essentially Hillman gets like the Fury on a 6,
Mhm.
and Dunlin models get +1 against enemy heroes. So they're niche, but it'll occur in most games.
Yeah. It actually does end up mattering. Like the amount of models you have is crazy, so that Fury is pretty nice. And then +1 to wound, just like any hero going into two guys and two spear supports, if they lose that fight, they're afraid. Four dice coming back at +1 to wound is
They become Army of Erebor Spearmen.
I don't want to talk about that.
Also, the Hill Tribesman base profile is pretty good, right? It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why Army of the White Hand is good as well, because they can spam out those guys.
Yeah. And just the utility too, like the flaming brands are really nice. They're cheap and they have a decent shoot value. Shoot value 4 at that points cost is not bad.
Yeah.
Even the heroes are pretty good value. I like Wolf. He's a cheap, hitter that can get fight 6, 3 attacks. Freka has some decent rules, and Thorn too. And you can bring some Rohan. So for a pretty straightforward army, they do still have some list building options. So
Initially, you don't think you have the option for a banner, but you do have the option for a banner. And then I think you have a couple fight value buffs in there too to get up to fight 4, although for most of the game, all the turns that matter. So it's solid.
it probably doesn't scale to very, very high points just because outside of Wolf, it doesn't really have any other threats. It just has numbers, but at low points or even to mid points, I think it does a lot. I would honestly put this on like the higher end of Fortitude somewhere.
Wait, did this one get Crebain?
They do.
That's pretty big.
I was surprised you didn't say Valor, because I was.
I think it pips up there. If it's got the Crebain, I think it might pip up to like the bottom end.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was going to say it's probably better than Legions of Mordor anyway. I'd be okay with that. I think top of Fortitude, bottom of Valor probably works.
Right. Besiegers of the Hornburg.
Yeah. So this one is the Temu version. If you want to play Shank, Rot, and the Troll, then yes, that is the reason you play this one. If you prefer to win, then you don't play this one.
Well, so they get +1 to wound within range of an objective marker. There's a lot more objective marker scenarios. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah, compared to maybe I was thinking of the first 6. It was just
Yeah.
completely useless.
So they lose Thorn, so they don't have access to the banner. And then Wolf has a conditional rule. Oh, and he always has to charge.
Yeah. Which is bad, but he gets, yeah, a free challenge.
That's it.
Yeah, it's probably still a little bit worse than the other one, but I don't think it's too much. Not like doesn't fall like crazy because you still get the good stuff, right? You still get the solid troops and the Crebain, which are big.
I think the big thing is here you don't get the banner, right?
Yeah.
Which means you can't get the Rohan. And I believe that also means you can't get Fight 4, I think is the big thing.
Yeah, because it's tied to Thorn and then
Freka.
Arca. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are two pretty big things, right? You're locked on Fight 3, D3, and no banner.
Yeah.
I can't say that's good. I know the bonus +1 to wound, yeah, it's better than I thought, but
I
I
still
think you're
think,
going to
yeah,
fall apart.
yeah. It's weird to build it too. Because like if you want to include like the Snow Troll, it's just like why you play this list.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like that's why you play it over the other one. it just kind of builds a little weird because they don't listen to each other's heroics, and it's what 150 points sitting by itself that can't lead any troops. It's kind of awkward.
Do you guys rate the Snow Troll?
I think it's decent value, but it's not like busted. If you say like Shank and Rot, I don't know, like roughly 50, 60 points each. Yeah, of course, then, or even 50 points. You're getting like a 50-point troll, right? Which is a good deal.
Yeah. What's it special? It hits like fight 7 on the charge. Is that what it is?
And 4 attacks.
And 4 attacks.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's solid.
I mean, that's why you take this army, right? It's for the troll, basically. And
Yeah.
I guess Shank and Rot. But
I think it's still got play just because of all the it has enough special stuff that like still
Mhm.
brings it up. Like having the Crebain is still good. The none of your heroes are like a bat ball. I mean, Park's not great, but you can still take him on foot just for like the extra might and like the master battle and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't even know if you do target, you just do double chiefs. You probably just do double chiefs to get the warband slots. Never mind. Whoops.
so, with the risk of upsetting Ian, I'm gonna recall back to the last episode. We did put Numenor in minor, and I think it's about the same power level.
You think it's that bad? Yeah, maybe you did. Maybe I am upset. I don't think it's that
It
bad.
does have Crebain still.
I still think it's getting brought up by the utility of the troops getting like dominant 2 on a bunch of their models. The
I
fact
guess I'm just thinking, you also said some things about like Army of Edoras, right? They're stuck on fight 3 and D5, but that's D5 in
yeah,
a banner. This is,
but that's not a horde. This is the horde.
but I don't know if this is like that hordy if you're taking Wolf and the Snow Troll combo. I
Yeah.
guess if you're going to high points, right? But if it's at like 500 or 600 points, I don't think the numbers are that crazy. It's not like a Usurpers. Charles might have to be the tiebreaker here, but I am not a fan of this army.
Mhm.
It was just there is the help to compensate for not having the banner if you take them. Like again, like we said, you're going to take them. That's the whole reason taking the list. But
Mhm.
it's so unreliable. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this is either top of minor or bottom of fortitude for me, the way I'm looking at it.
Okay, so I guess I just crafted up like a quick list. It's actually at 500 points. It's not great. It hits 30 models. If you take Wolf, the triplets, and a Chieftain, you hit 30 with 2 Crebain. If you go to 650 though, this might be where it's probably the best. You're still at 2 Crebain. You could grab another chief, and then you kind of max warbands, and then you go to 48 models.
You wouldn't take Targ?
I don't know if Target is good. I mean, you could, but then you probably drop. You go low 40s
Right.
Mono
instead.
models. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say that it's probably playable at 650, but it didn't look playable at 500 to me. And at 800, what you add another chief and a couple of Crebain, I think you're in the mid 50s with
Yeah.
really, really crap troop quality and kind of bad hero quality. So you probably get walked over.
Yeah. Shit. If
So,
Targ was a Valor, I think it would help a lot just at like those lower
Mhm.
points values for him to
Yeah.
be worth it. But because he's not, you just need the warband slots. So you go double chief. You need the slots. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
Okay, minor.
Right.
Minor.
But it's above wolves.
Yeah.
it's above wolves.
Depths of Moria.
Pretty good. Balrog, good. Goblin,
All
good.
right. Yeah.
Global
Hardly
banner, good.
good.
Gaining actual banner. Good.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
boards, doesn't break most of the time. Yeah. And I still think it doesn't really change with all the scenarios dropping the extra ones. It's still really good.
Yeah. Actually playing a bit more of the scenarios now. I know we harped a lot about the banner VPs, but I'm finding it doesn't change a lot of the games. Like, sure, it might change the score a little bit here and there, but I'm not seeing a lot of games being decided upon banner. Out of the 20, there's usually enough to score pretty high on stuff. Yeah, like, sometimes you might max out if you're crushing an opponent, you can't get the 20-0 or whatever, right? It's going to be like 18-1 or something. Who cares? Yeah, this army is pretty dominant. And yeah, it's like the Balrog can be inconsistent, but who cares? Because the goblins are super efficient. It's like glazed up goblins everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. The crazy thing. It just comes down to that banner bonus. Like having a lone goblin out there, like with a spear, you think you can pick on them, but you can't. I think I agree. I don't know if you go for the drum in this to get the banner points. I don't think you do. It's just that's like what, a captain and half a warband of dudes? More than half?
Yeah. I mean, right now, as it's written, it stacks with like the -2 courage, whatever, but yeah, it's too expensive.
Yeah, like that's really good, but I still just you just want the extra dudes and the extra might.
So kind of like Army of the White Hand, the new stuff that it got, it didn't really need those additions. It's already good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harad.
Got the betrayer back.
Got the Betrayer, got the Golden King, refer to our Legacies video for our discussion on that guy, but he's a Chad.
It's got good stuff just based off of that. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
We talked about how good the Mumak profile is. So
Yep. We also talked about the Harad King, the fact that he can go up to 3 attacks if he's your general. So if you're playing like lower points, most of the time Golden King is the better general anyway. But who knows if you're doing some crazy, crazy wild tournament that's like 250 points or something, 300 points, then you want to spam out kings. I mean, that's an option.
Well, if there's like a weird pack that has stuff where you have to protect heroes a lot more, then maybe you make the Harad King the leader and you make the Golden King the hero to protect and kill and stuff, right?
Yeah. I guess this is kind of the Mumak army, though, in general. If you wanted to play a Mumak, it's probably one of the better armies to do so in. You can
well,
get
you
it.
would probably rather go Grand Army, right?
With the
Depends on what you
supers.
want to pair with the Grand Army, because Harad, you get army bonuses that help a Mumak, right? So Grand Army is more, yeah, I agree that you can take, we'll talk about it when we get to Grand Army, but like it's more so, there's more stuff that you can take with the Mumak. But in this army, all the Mumaks gain Harbinger and also the Monstrous Charge, right? They can get a free hero combat, which is insane because most of the time you're praying for that one good trample on the Mumak could win you the game. And then if you set it up that you pop off with a hero combat, you could just win the game right there.
Or it's just a solid backup if you roll the triple one on the first one, you're like, I got a hero combat. We're trying it again this turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm spinning again.
They can't pivot when they do this hero combat, so it's basically like what Ian said, a retry.
Yeah. You run into like an Aragorn the first time, you're not going to kill him on the first trample, right? Even if you do like max wounds, you probably don't kill him.
You have to win the fight and kill him to get the hero thing off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'd have to be fighting, like you'd have to
Oh
get paired
yeah,
up,
that's
and
fair.
then
So I guess it doesn't work that way.
nice try.
Yeah. Probably Fortitude somewhere. How good are Mumax?
That's the best thing about this list, I think, because I don't know how competitive just basic Parad, like their
But
basic warriors and heroes are.
they're not that great.
Yeah,
Were
especially you don't have
okay
Suladan in
before.
Harad.
Yeah, they were okay before
Yeah,
when the fight four was enough to get them by with the Serpent Guard, but now that the Serpent Guard are locked and you don't get them, like
yeah.
they're harder to get. And so many things have +1 to wound now, and you're only D4 everywhere.
So I think you're gonna lean into the Mumax when you play this list.
Yeah.
Maybe the upper half of Fortitude.
Oh, I wasn't gonna give it that high, but
It's mostly because I rate the Mumak profile. It's by far the best thing about the list.
Yeah, but it still is just the Mumak list.
It's
It's
very
still
skewed.
probably up there in middle. Yeah, but it's still up there in middle of fortitude, like
Yeah,
you guys were saying.
probably better than Army of Gothmog. It's
Yeah.
like I think it's like for me like Assault upon Helm's Deep is also skewed. You want to play skewed Siege or skewed War Beast?
Yeah.
It's probably a little scarier than Assault upon Helm's Deep, I think thinking about how we were saying Assault upon Helm's Deep is sitting back a lot. Even if you snipe a lot of things, you'll probably lose if you sit back.
Mumax can't trample over objectives and end on objectives, right?
No, I think they are the only things that
Or
can
the
end up on objectives, from what I
okay.
recall.
The only hesitation I have is with all the siege weapons around. But yeah, we can think about this while we go through the rest of the armies. Corsair Fleets.
I don't remember what this is. This the one that got? Is this the assassin one? The Sharon one? I don't even remember. No,
That's
this is
Umbar. This is the one where in the first 6 months it was just whatever you see in the movie. So Corsair Warrior and then Captain and Bosun. Oh yeah, and of course they have the ballista. And I think that
yeah.
might be it.
Dalamir's in this one, yeah.
He's in this one.
He gets this one and Dalgamar. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So you have to take a Corsair captain in this one who becomes your general, and then you just have Dalamir who's just chilling around.
With the exception of Dalamir. So basically,
Oh,
if you don't take Dalamir, then a Corsair captain has to be your general.
okay. But if you do, then you're giving up one of your army bonuses.
Yeah.
To be fair, a Corsair captain with all those buffs is actually pretty solid.
Until you
But
look at the Corsair Warrior.
yeah, it's still just yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Corey in our Discord who repeatedly won't stop trying to make this work.
I'll give him credit, but also I've played against him twice when he's run this, and in both games, I managed to make sure he did not get off that ballista shot before the game starts. So
So it's bad, basically.
that's pretty rough. Like one was Maelstrom, I just deployed behind him. The other one, I just deployed behind buildings so he couldn't see anything. And it was just like, cool,
Yeah.
neat. It's not great.
So it's basically like a lightning that could be avoided.
Yes. But it's worse because it's just a directional one. So like if you position right, even if it is hitting, it's only hitting like two guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way worse.
And yeah, because like and also like in Maelstrom too, it doesn't matter because they're angled,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, do you move it on six and then deploy it back and then it has an arc covering like 6 inches, or do you face it forward and hope
Yeah.
something wanders into the line of sight on the opposite side of the table, which is probably not like it, yeah.
At the end of the day, even if you just say screw it, I'm going to deploy normally, it's a 50-50 anyway to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you fall back on that Corsair profile, that's D3 and costs 8 points still. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so how bad are we putting this?
With the legacy additions, I think it's playable. Might be.
Better than
It's
a souped up Sharku, is what you're saying?
maybe not. But it did gain the crossbows, so you can play a just
that
sit
would
back and shoot like a bad Dale.
It is a very bad deal. I
that
think,
is so worst Dale, isn't it? Oh God.
okay, maybe in between, in the middle of there, in the minor there. I don't
Take
think
it
it's,
as a win for the Besiegers.
yes.
I'm good with that. We'll be talking a little more about Corsairs later on. Army of Gundabad. We're moving
Yeah,
on to the Hobbit.
very good. Lots of options. Great army bonus. I
Mhm.
know people are stuck on the Master of Battle getting worse, which is
Yeah,
not great, but
but
you get a built-in signal tower.
200-point tower for free is crazy.
Okay, it's you don't get the benefits of
It's not
200
200
points.
points anymore because you don't get like the 7 dudes with it, but like it's still a really good army bonus. And then mercenaries also just existing.
And then the Gundabad orcs getting fight 4, huge.
Yeah, I think it's just so stupid that they can't take shields and spears. They made an upgrade pack. They made an upgrade pack.
Hmm.
Yeah. If this was a hobby podcast, we'd go on and on about this.
But yeah, them getting the fight for kind of compensates for that. It does help a lot. It still has quite a resistant battle line because of that. And getting the D6 up front still looks solid, right? So
Yeah. And you get like the access to the fun and also like pretty good monsters, right? Troll brute, ogres. I personally don't like the Gundabad trolls still, but I know there's certain people that will swear by them.
Like Ian.
I can't really think of any other model in the game that gets put on the table and I go, oh God, how do I deal with that?
I don't know if I've ever even used one. I'm just gonna confess that right now. I just think they're neat.
They got nice tools, right? Warbat, mercenary.
Yeah. The Warbats are sick. They're not as good as they used to
Yeah.
be. Having a flyer is still really good.
So I think out of the three of us, the one that's had tournament success with his army is Richard. So where do you think it goes?
Yeah, I think this is easily in Valor. It's still very competitive. I know it's still being underrated. I know a lot of people don't play Hobbit armies. Ian even saying that the bats are worse, which is true. You don't get the strength 4 hit, but there's so many foot heroes, which honestly, if there was the old pluck rule on the bat, it would be so abusive and they would be like S tier. So maybe it's a good thing that they did take it down a notch, but still very, very handy. Yeah, this is hard. Honestly, I think it's up there with Muster and Ugluk Scouts. It's hard for me to rank in between those three. I think it's definitely below Minas Morgul, and it's above Black 8. Among those three, probably worse than Ugluk Scouts because if
I
Ugluk
put them
Scouts is
above
very
Monster.
dominant at low points, like very dominant. And I think Army of Gundabad is just more well-rounded. Like it doesn't have one crazy good points value, but
It is susceptible to just getting built not great because you just have so many tools and you really have to limit yourself on what you take and really like think about it and play test it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would say probably in between those two, like above Muster. Go check out Hobby Hobbit's video.
oh yeah.
Will did win a TTS tournament using the Catatrol, so it is useful and it can be done.
Spoilers, I don't think he won, but yes, he did
But
podium.
he didn't win. Sorry. He did well.
Goblin-Town.
Yeah, Goblin-Town. Yeah, another mighty army that fell.
Arguably, biggest nerf is all the goblins went up 1 point.
That is, yeah. Yeah.
Goblin Kings also changed quite a bit.
The scribe also changed. You don't get infinite guys anymore. The bonus that it brings is still interesting and decent, but it's not the same as bringing on infinite guys from different board edges. The
Well, it's
pressure on that was insane.
yeah. The objective pressure was crazy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Gollum does not combo wombo with the Goblin King really anymore for like insta kill any hero. So you can argue maybe one of these nerfs are not so bad, but when you combine these like 3 or 4 decently sized nerfs, then it goes from a top tier army to close to the bottom.
I haven't seen it played yet this edition, so I don't know where it is. It still feels like it has some play just because of like the horde and all the interesting stuff it has, but I really
Mhm.
couldn't tell you. I don't,
Does it really when they cost the same as Moria goblins and they're D3?
Yeah.
but everybody can spear something.
Yes.
The king going up by 30 points also means that you're taking that's that's quite a
Did he
few
go
less
by
goblins.
30?
I
Yeah.
think 20, right? Was it 130 before?
It was like 130 before.
Oh, okay. You went up by 20. Golem is worse. You can't do the golem trick anymore. I haven't seen anyone play this to have a solid opinion, but I think it probably has potential, I think, to be in Fortitude, but I don't know because I haven't really seen it.
Does it? Does it though?
Richard's the hater today.
Yeah. I'm just not convinced by just pure numbers, honestly.
That's fair. There are enough like other hordes that just even like the Wildman ones, they're just out fighting this.
Yeah, I think in this edition, like pure numbers, like numbers are always good, but pure numbers are just not as good anymore, considering literally every army has a dominant, at least one dominant model. And then there's a lot of armies with multiple. So if you're playing like a Khazad-dûm or something and they have a bunch of dominant dwarves, like, yes, you have 30 more crappy goblins. They're going to shoot down a bunch of them. And then are you
Doesn't
really
matter.
competing that hard for the objectives? I don't know.
To be fair, we also said that was one of the best armies, one of the better armies in the game. It was up there, high valor, right? I see the point you're making.
So if they're 1 point apiece, and if you last edition at like 800, you're taking around 100 goblins, that means it's 100 more points, right? That's a good 20 goblin difference. That's
Yeah.
like 2 full war bands less. I think that's a big difference, right? So last edition, you maybe killed like 30 to 35 to 40. So you're not breaking them. And then they're just like surviving by the end, not being broken. Now, I think you're probably breaking them a lot more often.
Yeah.
One more thing to mention, I
Yeah.
think maybe losing the mercenaries also has a small impact, right, to the
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
a huge impact. Mercenaries won them a lot of games too.
Well, it was like the mercs and the change to the scribe. All right, fine, Richard, you've convinced me.
top
Put it down there.
Somebody's found me since the abyss.
Top of minor.
Besiegers is probably better.
Yeah, I think actually Besiegers I think Besiegers might actually be better. Okay, are they paying the same points as like a base Wildman?
Yeah.
Yeah. You still have to get a gear, right? But yeah.
That's just a better profile.
Yeah. Yeah, the base versus base. Move faster, one more fight.
Yeah. Sure, they don't have chittering hordes, but like who cares? They can pick up spears, they can put on flaming brands. Okay, yeah, no. Right where it needs to be.
Okay. Hits of Dol Guldur.
Also took a little tumble off the cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some arguments about how they have potential. I fully disagree.
But you can take basic Gundabads in this one still. So it does have play just on that. Like you're not relying on Hunter Orcs, which are crap now.
Yeah. And I guess you do still get the ambush,
Yeah.
but I always thought it was a little bit of a one trick already with the ambush, but it's a strong rule. But then you have Hunter Orcs and Azog with the free hero combats. I'm like, okay, so you have that one big turn, and then you still have some play with the hero combats. Well, you lose that hero combats now, right? So it's literally you're just banking on the ambush. So I will give it to you that if you're facing like a player that doesn't know how to play against the ambush and it's like a pub stomp, then yeah, you'll win the game. So I guess in that way it has play. But if someone is defending against the ambush, then I don't think this is a good army at all.
I forgot they lost the free hero combats. I was looking at the other bonuses. That's pretty rough without that.
Yeah. And yeah, the Gundabads are good, but then you kind of also usually mixed in, a good decent amount of Hunter Orcs for some like hitting power, and you're not really gonna you can get mounted Hunter Orcs, but the foot Hunter Orcs are just no good anymore.
Like, is this how you run Hunter Orcs though? Is it this list so you can do the ambush and actually get a turn and then being useful?
One turn that they'll return to the last edition Hunter
Unguaranteed turn.
Orcs.
I think the hunters are actually viable in this list. If you take a chunk of them on foot, you're not like wasting points like you are in a lot of other ones because you can still guarantee that turn. You can get the spear support behind them and the band back. Are they good? No. But it's much more viable to take them in this list than the other ones that they're available in.
I mean, I'll give this army fortitude. I think on the lower end.
Is it?
You want this in Valor?
No. Oh, no. I went lower.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I think it still pips in the fortitude.
I mean,
around Cirith Ungol.
Actually, does it?
you get a mounted Azog with. Stop making me defend this army, Ian. Come on, I don't want to do this.
But he's stuck at D5.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah. Legolas is gonna ping him down.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I mean, the resistance to magic is nice on him though. So that's still a pretty good buff for like a big hero.
I mean, fell sight. I guess you could stay out of shooting a little bit before combat. So,
Ooh. Azog wounds any magic caster on 2+.
mm,
That's cool.
counters the atop the wall meta, right? That we have going on.
Well, I was gonna say, imagine like you get him into like the Witch King, and there's like, yeah, I would have won twos.
Yeah, it's a Dead Witch King. So
Uh,
Charles, you think bottom of Fortitude, or Ian is arguing, I guess, top of Minor, I guess.
This is where I think. What about you?
yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
The glory days of the Hunter Orc shall live on.
Rise of the Necromancer.
This one is also bad.
Maybe this is the way to run Hunter Orcs, Ian.
It's not. It's not. Not. I'm so upset. They did what I said. They did what I said for the Necromancer. And I rejoiced. And then I read the rest of the list. And I cried. Because Hunter Orcs suck now. And then they got rid of Gundabads. Honestly, if Gundabads were in this list, it'd be fine. It'd be a great list. But Gundabads aren't, so it's a bad list.
They buffed the Necromancer quite a bit, but the rest of the list, I don't know.
Yeah. The spiders are worse now too.
And then the list building is super awkward with the way the ring rates are pointed. Even if you want to do the all hero version, it's really weird. I still think it's probably better than Pits, just because I have seen some builds and some people talking about like how to do it. Like if you mask the spiders and kind of like do some funky builds, you can actually make a weird list, but like a functional one.
Like a super mobile list, right?
Yeah.
You're just jumping around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. Backed up by some magic casting. Yeah. All right. Where do you want it, Ian? We're not going to argue. We don't play this one.
I don't know where it goes in Fortitude, honestly, though. Like I've only played a few games with it, and I was trying like a Hunter Orc spam one, which just didn't really work. So I haven't tried this other build yet.
Did you lean into the Necromancer, the new buffed Necromancer?
I did. It is great. He is great. He's fantastic. It's just you need something to screen him off with so he can actually make use of the double spells a turn. And you have nothing that can reliably do that unless you're taking the ring wraiths.
Or
I haven't seen a list build with Castellans, but the Castellans are like 50 points now base.
Yeah.
They used to be 40, so it's like harder to do a spam list. I maybe want to do some list building with like a bunch of Castellans in there and see how that works. I haven't tried it. They also got worse too, right? Because they lost some will. So
How much better than Pits?
I would say it could be on either side of Cirith Ungol. I don't know. I don't know Cirith Ungol that well either. So
We can put it above Cirith Ungol.
Azog's Hunters.
Oh, this is complete garbage.
yeah, there is some play I think at lower points if you do an all mounted list. Just
Yeah, and you have to. You're not going to go
Yeah.
Hunter Orcs. It is
Just
an
having,
all-mounted list.
what are they, 16 points and 3 attacks in the charge? That's pretty gross, but you're still stuck at fight 3. You get countercharged the next turn, you're 1 attack, fight 3. That's rough.
And you're going to get shot down pretty easily too, because yeah, it's like fell sight, but you're not going to be able to hide mass cav behind buildings.
Yeah. It still does have play at like those lower, like sub 500. Because you get one turn getting a bunch of Hunter Orcs just fighting like one guy or one guy in spear supports. If you get enough kills, you can just snowball it, right? But
Yeah.
it's also, if you don't get that one turn, you get countercharged, you're screwed. So
The Cav are so expensive, though. And I know they're good, but just if they're your main warrior.
Low fight value cav, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
You have the attacks. Yeah. It reminds me of like if someone were to like spam like all Marauder or something. Yeah, it can be kind of scary, but because of the stats, but it's definitely a meme.
the Woodland Creature and Mountain Dweller thing is nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
They do the all calf thing well then because of that. But
So a good comparison here, better or worse than Wolves of Isengard?
I think it scales better than Wolves Isengard because it has more named heroes and more choices,
it's better.
bigger threats, but
Sharku is probably better value than anything else
yeah.
here.
And I prefer the army bonuses in that army.
Yeah, but your basic the Hunter Orc on Morg is better than a Warg Rider.
Well,
Extra attack
I don't
on
know about that because the Warg Rider would be better in more situations.
But you combo the Fell Sight with
Hmm.
the Woodland Creature and Mountain Dweller.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The
Mhm.
Like
extra attack is
yeah.
cheap for the cost compared to a regular Warg Rider. I do agree with that.
Mhm.
You
And if
know,
you
like
wanted to
that's
spam on numbers, I guess you can take Fell Wargs.
yeah. Or you could take some on foot if you want, like with
No, you
or I say with bows. No, just to sit on objectives. Like you're not going to want riders sitting on objectives.
yeah.
To put a couple with bows sitting behind, like four maybe in the list, just to go
Mhm.
sit on a couple
All
things.
right.
But
I don't care. Just put it out beside Wolves of Isengard.
yeah, I was gonna say it's the same thing as like the double race list. Like they just
The same shit.
does it really matter? Somebody's gonna get mad in the comments. I can tell.
I'll put this in front just because you have the option of like a Hero Hammer Azog Hunters.
Because you can take 50% bows.
That's why.
Is that better than 50% throwing weapons?
Oh yeah.
They lost the 4+ to hit, right?
Yeah, didn't they? I was just looking for that. I think they did. Oh my
Wow.
god.
No. Warg Riders are base 4+ to hit already.
They are base 4 now, aren't they? Just the basic
Yeah,
control.
I think they did change it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, don't worry, Ian. Oh, let's bump it up.
Yeah. It's definitely above wolves now.
The 3 trolls.
It's actually kind of zesty.
Yeah, but it was also overhyped because people were talking
Yes.
about it being like top tier. It's not.
It's zesty though. It does do some fun stuff.
So basically, it's a 400 point army that you can scale by buying upgrades, right?
Yeah.
So,
It kind of feels a little bit like equivalent of where we probably put Fangorn for the good side. Like it's gonna smash some armies, but then gonna struggle in some objective play and yeah,
But if you take that rule where they just get the objectives, that's really good.
that is really good. But you probably still lose in domination though, even with that.
I mean, yeah. But
Trust me, I've played domination against this army.
I know, I was gonna say, but you almost lost that one.
But I won.
Yeah, but you were playing a really good list.
did you guys
they
play
also-
against it in the Depticon?
Well, we did in the doubles.
Yeah, I played it in on a TTS tournament, but yeah, I mean, this list, which happened in that game, is like it's also dependent on how hot you roll, right? Because if you don't lose the fight, yes, you're gonna crush anyone, because that's the kind of list it is, right?
That was also like kind of what happened in the doubles game that we had too. Like we just lost like 2 or 3 Elven Blade roll-offs, and it was like, well, we won, but it was sketchy because we lost those. Which
we did almost lose that.
You can't rely yeah.
To be fair, wasn't that one to the death?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one was advantageous to them. So I think this one is probably just kind of in the middle for me. Somewhere in Fortitude, maybe middle-ish, because
Around Army of Gothmog.
Yeah.
Where do we put Fangor?
I think around the same place. It's very, very matchup dependent.
Scenario and
And it doesn't play over 700. I think 700 is like the last points it'll do like okay in. I think 750, 800, the upgrades don't do anything after that, and then you're facing more stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay. Moria.
It's cooking with the dragons. I know we talked about a lot of the dragons, and I think when we went over this in the best armies video, but they also got cave drakes, and the cave drakes are actually pretty damn good too. If they weren't in the same list as the dragons, then we would probably see a lot of them.
I think you're gonna, once a bit of the hype wears down about dragons and people start to think about how to counter dragons, double cave drake is pretty scary for the same points cost.
We've talked about how good the Moria Goblin profile was, and then the dragon is just, if you look at our top armies video, we go into that in more detail, but they're one of the main reasons why this list is so good, right?
Yeah, it's a very skewed kind of list. They do have counters. They are weak against shooting, specifically like strength 3 shooting and siege weapons. They're also weak against casters because if you can drain their resources, they're 300 points, the ones that have the fly and fire. So if you're stopping them for one turn even, that's a lot of value. But I think the issue is that if you don't have those tools, it's hell trying to play against dragons. Like literally there's no worse feeling. It's kind of like playing against Smog because they're going to just blow you up. You can't clump more than 3 models together, but the issue is that they also have an army of goblins.
It's worse than Smog because at least Smog you can, if you close the distance, you're in.
Yeah.
Like then it's very hard for him to get away and land somewhere where you can't immediately charge somebody into him to stop the fire breath. Whereas
Mhm.
this, he can just sit behind the line
Yeah.
and
Shoot into
at
combat.
yeah, at worst, he just backs off all of their spear supports out of the way and loses a couple models in their front rank to torch your like entire line or your big hero. So like it's yeah.
So where does this go at the top?
I think second here.
White hands
Waiting,
still first.
I think so.
Moria has to be proven.
I think Moria is just the ones that, like I said, good matchups, you're going to stomp harder than the white hand would, but the white hand just has way less weaknesses.
Yeah, that's fair. Desolator of the North. We were just talking about dragons.
I hate reading this profile.
This one's stupid.
I think in the past, whenever we brought this up, we would just put it in the right in the middle because it's really
Yeah.
great at some scenarios, really bad at some.
It
You
can
know,
only play in a few points values.
yeah, or
One
just the one
point
now,
value.
Yeah,
1 point value. So
sure. Put it between 3 trolls and army of Gothmog.
Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. Like, it has an interesting special rule now that you can use to bait him out. So it's hard for him just to sit back and do the shooty thing, but then he can get more VPs at the end. I don't know.
No,
It's,
still ban him. Ban him.
I think, yeah, it's still just annoying having something where it's like, oh, you put this down. Okay, I have to kill you and I win. And if I don't, you win in like any scenario.
mhm. Yeah.
That's not that fun.
Yeah. Army of the Great Eye.
This one,
Ian played against this recently.
did I?
Didn't you
Oh,
play?
I did. That totally, yes, I did play against that one. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. The eye bonus is actually really good. It didn't run away in the game that we played, but the potential is there for it to run away and kind of screw you. But I think it is really nice getting like an extra banner effect that you can just kind of you can essentially move it anywhere too, right? So it's even better than having it on a model. So that's fantastic. And like the -1 courage was good because it worked well following the Mordor troll chief around.
So looking at the list here, arguably, I actually thought Legions of Mordor had more options, but this might actually have more. It's weird because it almost has more options and a better army bonus than Legions of Mordor.
Yep.
Obviously, it has different stuff, right? Like you can't take the Mumax. Take, yeah, some evil men and all the named wraiths and the orc heroes. It's got a lot of things.
Who goes above Legions of Mordor, you think?
Oh yeah.
And
I
more
think there's
choice.
some good combos here actually. And it's interesting because I think at lower points the army bonus gives great value because it's like a banner effect. And then at higher points you don't rely on that as much, but you have the options to make this list good. So I think this is very solid. I think it's probably somewhere in Valor. It's definitely significantly or materially better than Legions of Mordor.
I agree that it pips up there. I don't know where, but it does pip up there, I think, for me.
Mm.
I think it's probably beside Blackgate, but probably below because Blackgate is probably a bit more efficient.
Hmm.
They're kind of hand in hand, which I guess makes sense. Is like which one? If you want more options, you go for Great Eye. But
Yeah. Yeah, because like you can get a lot of the good heroes that you can't get in Black
yeah,
8, right? Because Black 8's more limited.
yeah,
It's just like Black 8's like straightforward. It's like +1 wound, raw stats on the Troll Chieftain. Depends what you want, I guess.
I think it depends on the points value. At lower points, I think you're going to go Black Gate
Yeah.
because you're probably going to go for those heroes or similar heroes like that anyway.
Yeah.
And then higher points, then you go Great Eye because you can get more toys and more stuff.
I'm good with that.
Sharky's Rogues.
Ah, the
Shite.
old Rouge boys.
Shite.
I know I've always said that, no matter how bad an army is, if they have numbers, they can't be bad because there's scenarios that numbers are just really good in. Well, I think there is one exception. I think this army is the exception. I brought it to a tournament before, and it's just way worse than it looked on paper.
That was last edition too, where I think it was probably better than it is now, right?
It got a little worse, well, it depends, right? Because I didn't take the whips. You now have the throwing weapon limit.
You're limited, but also doesn't this have like three army bonuses that all involve courage that are basically redundant?
It's just a lot of weird things, Sharkey
Yeah.
gain hatred Hobbit on his profile, but then he also has it in the army bonus, stuff like that. It's a little bit wonky. You don't have Harry Goatleaf anymore. Some of the ruffian heroes changed up a bit. Like Sid was like the main hero. He lost his banner effect. So you got some like things that changed around there. Rowan became a little bit better in combat and stuff, like just like minor changes, but overall I think the army's still pretty similar. Just, I was disappointed that the Warriors didn't get a little better because it was really rough playing against them, playing with them, just, not having spear support and all being defense 3, they just melt. Even going up against average fight value battle lines, you're just gonna melt. So they can't really hold objectives even though you have so many models.
Or did you
Can they
put
get
them?
torches? Do they get torches? So maybe some Dom too? Is that a thing? Am I imagining that?
I don't think they have any form of Dom 2.
Oh,
They have a horde, but their bows hit on 5s, so you can't even really do damage from range like hobbits can. So I think they probably I would put them at the top of independent.
I don't know. Do they even get that?
I,
Like, are
I
the
th
Wraiths better?
if they weren't so unenjoyable to play at a tournament, and I would want to bring it to a tournament again, I probably could get enough practice to win games at a tournament. But it was so unfun that I just didn't have the motivation to do it again. If you had enough practice, a decent player can probably win games with them.
Yeah. Wait, did they lose the thing where they can't be led by heroes? They have to be led by heroes now?
You still can spam out.
You have to take Sharky now, right?
Yeah, you have to take Sharkey now. The base profile is just so bad.
I feel
Yeah.
like Charles had a extra worse experience because he chose to like basically raw dog it and no practice with this army. So maybe you're a bit biased. Again, I'm not arguing that it's any good, but
Yeah, but we thought it was a favored pack for it too, though. It still just didn't work.
Yeah,
that is also
yeah.
fair.
So I brought it to an event pack that didn't have kill the enemy.
Yeah.
It still was really rough in the other.
Yeah. If you want it top of independent, I'm not gonna argue. I was
Mhm.
gonna say maybe bottom of minor, but yeah, same thing. You played this. I'll let you I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Are you gonna still put it at the top of independent? I was gonna say maybe it's not even that good if like with the Wraiths. I don't know.
Well,
I think you'll win more games than the Wraiths.
yeah. I still won a game in that at that tournament.
Well, we're not saying that independent can't win games, so it makes sense. I believe like even Pat, like one of the TOs in our local, I think he ran Wraith on Wings as like a ringer list, and I think he did win a couple games on the lower tables there. So
Well, maybe Ian, if you're curious enough, you can borrow my Sharky's Rogues army one day.
Yeah, I think I'm going to fall back on what we were saying before. It doesn't really matter if we're debating the ranks of independent stuff. Like, there's really.
Umbar.
So
It's
better than Corsair Fleets.
yes.
I think it probably has one of the coolest special rules in the game. Kind of useless, but it's neat.
Well, the not useless one, friendly models gain stock unseen.
Yeah,
But yes, the cool one you're talking about is basically I am the captain now.
and kind of useless, but like it's cool. It's really fun.
By the way, that's not the rule name. I just made that up. It's the actual
I
name is
that
called Seize Command.
I think that's what everybody's going to call it, though. I don't think you're far off the mark on that.
Maybe that was copyrighted, so they couldn't do it.
It probably is.
I am the captain now.
So I think the issue with this army is that I don't know like how much in terms of synergy that it has. Corsairs lose the backstabbers, but I don't know how many Corsairs you would want to take anyway. What else do you lose? You lose the ballista, but then you gain Black Numenorians and then Haradrim.
And you're more motivated to take Dalamir in this one.
Yeah, I think he makes sense in this one. Hashran got that fun special rule, but they're still not great, so that's cool. Do you go like Black Numb frontline and then just Harad behind? Is that how you run this?
Probably.
Well,
You
you
could-
also don't have crossbows.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if we could go shooting heavy, but
Unless you like strength 2 bows.
with no poison rerolls.
You. Well, no. If it was Harad bows, you'd still get
Oh,
the.
yeah, sorry. I meant the betrayer's poison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, does this crawl out of minor? We can put this above Corsair Fleets. Okay. It's still
Or,
pretty trash.
So
pulling up
the best bonus that you have, you need to take a Hasharan, which hasn't become a better profile.
Don't they get Hatred Gondor? That's pretty cool. Gondor's in a lot of lists.
It's cool, but is it good?
I mean, it's good. Like if you're playing a 5-game tournament, your odds are you're going to play at least one game where that triggers.
We've talked about how underwhelming the Corsair profile is, and then how just okay the Harad profile is. So Black
Yeah.
Numenorian Warrior is like their best profile, right? And the heroes are just okay, I think. They have like a few decent heroes, but nothing that's stands out as like
Busted.
really
Yeah.
busted. Yeah. So I think top and minor.
Yeah, I could see it at like lower points. Dalamir and a Hashran are both very solid profiles. You take both of them at lower points. You get a good battle line with the Numenorians, which are up front.
Yeah. You're capped at 3 might if you do that.
Yes.
You're not taking any Reavers. I know Ian suggested it in a previous video, but don't.
No, we're sitting on objectives. All I said is you take a couple to sit on objectives because they're fearless. And you got to admit that is a use for them.
It is a use, yes.
That's like the best thing. Like fearless in an evil army is solid.
All right.
Okay. Top of minor. Host of the Witch King.
I think it's still good. It's not the boogeyman that it was in the last edition, of course. That's mostly because no more Gullivar. But Witch King, Barrow White's paralyzing on a 3+. You get werewolves. You get Aldrak.
Yeah. There still is that potential with Aldrak in there just because of the mighty blow. It's way harder to do, and it's not the same as like just the Gully one, but you still have that similar kind of like one-shot potential. And the Witch King's really solid at fighting, right? He can be fight 7, doesn't lose the will.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad. And I mean, I know there's different ways you could build a Witch King back then, but I think most commonly you probably would have seen a pretty similar Witch King to this. Like a 3/18/3 on a horse. Maybe you would take a few less will, maybe, but it's relatively close, right? So, yeah, I don't think it changed too much, and it's still good. I think it's a little underrated now, maybe, because people have been doing other things and not really focusing on Angmar. But I think it's probably high valor.
The Shade is still cool. They still think high. You said high valor?
Above muster?
Maybe mid valor. I'd have to see it play more. I don't know. It's a way different army without the Gully wombo combo. And like that was like what it did. So it's kind of uh, I don't know how to feel about it
Well,
without that.
when the Legion came out, the Gully wasn't in that Legion, and it was pretty good, right?
Yeah, but that one had a bunch of extra stuff for casting, which this one doesn't have.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say maybe above Army of Gundabad or below.
Okay, well, Ian saying mid and mid out there, that's kind of like mid, right?
So
So,
I'll put it above muster, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. Shadow of Angmar.
Yeah, this one is not good.
This is just so that Gully can still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played this once and the 6-inch Gullivar is as bad as I thought it was.
I mean, the stock on scene is nice, like with how big his wing or his like tail and whatever the model is. Like you're gonna get him hidden behind stuff, but
But
since it's been
it's
rough.
more getting where you need to go, like around the battle line. It's a lot, I think,
Yeah,
easier to prevent.
with that base size, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big handicap for sure. And I think the issue is the rest of the list is not anything special.
Well, it's not set up to support it. Like you don't have any ring wraiths too.
Yeah, you have barrel whites, but that's you're just banking on that.
Yeah, but like the barrel whites are big and they're nice, but now that like you're saying you don't have the extra movement and you don't have a compel, so it's really hard to set up those like assassin runs.
Yeah. Arguably, if you're going to play this list, okay, so maybe a hot take, but if you take Gully, it's like really bad. It's definitely minor. But if you don't take Gully in this list, you don't take your main. Yeah, yeah, it's
Then
actually
don't run
better.
the
I,
then
I
don't
think
run those. What?
I think if you just go spam, I think it's fortitude.
What? Why? Why wouldn't you just go for like you would just run host to the Witch King because then at least all your orcs get like cause terror.
Well, I'm not saying it's better. So that's why I'm saying without Gully, it's fortitude. Most of the Witch King is in valor. So I am logical in this.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying Gullivar is not worth 200 points.
But like if you're gonna run the list, you run Gully.
No.
This is with the
So
caveat
it's
that
like
it is a 6-inch move, right?
Oh, it pretty much is at this
like
point.
we'll see in August. Like if it doesn't change in August, that's I think that's pretty cut and dry. Like it's gonna be really hard for anybody to argue
Yeah.
it after that. Yeah, I think like you still can do the gully thing if you go up against somebody who's never seen it before or just doesn't know what's gonna happen, he'll still like eat your freaking Elendil or like your whoever. But yeah, by virtue of so many other things going up to fight seven too, it's rough on Gully. Okay. Where are you putting him? This is your baby, so
With Gully or without?
it's with Gully. If you're gonna run the list, it's with Gully. Stop it. Yeah, put him down there.
He's not required though, Ian.
But then don't take the list. Run another list.
Middle?
I'll say top of minor just because you do have like barrel whites to support a Gully. Like if they paralyze all your heroes, Gully can, I guess, slowly munch through, walk
Yeah.
around and munch everything.
Birders Horde. So this army was also in our one of our runner-up armies.
Yeah, I think this is in the running for one of the most underrated armies, and maybe even more so with the new scenarios. I think I'm very curious how it does because the objective play is pretty insane. Anything that can basically be airdropped anywhere on the board is insane utility, right? Mercenaries, the Watcher in the Water, and Birders Horde are the only ones in the game that can do that. So
And just kind of like with the build, actually dropping in a few hill trolls is pretty solid. They are pretty good models just by the fact they have a reroll built into them, and you can stack a banner on top of that. But it really does just come down to you can drop 400 points or more behind your opponent's line, like wherever you want on the map, and that just the objective play you get for that is huge. Depending on the size of the terrain piece, you could drop stuff on this side and then on the other side, and they're like 12 inches, 10 inches apart. And that's just like the projection on the board, or like the board presence you gain from that is crazy. And also just auto winning some scenarios, basically.
Yeah. And even in the fighty scenarios, it allows you to close the gap on very shooty armies, which is a traditional weakness for evil armies like this. It has a high skill ceiling, but I think a very good player, which I haven't seen like a super competitive player like pick this up yet, but I can see it doing a lot of damage. I would probably put this behind Ugluk Scouts and above Army of Gundabad.
I'm not saying I disagree, but just looking at the choices, like the choice of troops and heroes, you think that it would still be that high having just the one named hero?
I think the Hill Trolls are one of my favorite non-hero monsters, and I actually think they're very, very good value. Surprisingly, I haven't seen this quite yet at 800, but it actually scaled quite well at 700. I know Will from Hobby Hobbits took it to Adepticon, and you can fill it with a couple trolls, and it doesn't feel like it's underpowered.
That's the thing, is like even at 700, you get what, 4 trolls or 3 trolls? And you still hit 40 something models. It does depend who has priority. But if you have priority, you can bail your trolls out just by hurling at the hero that they're fighting and taking them out of the equation, essentially, right? Knocking them down, at least preventing those attacks, even if they're striking up. There's a lot of play just to like bail out your heroes. And also the fact that like all models get the woodland creature and mountain dweller, that's pretty sick on orcs, just for like objective play and stuff. In addition to the fact that you're dropping on terrain, right? Like you're dropping on terrain, and then you can immediately use that as a defensive piece and just run wherever you want, where your opponent is scrambling to get around to get to you.
Yeah.
And Buhrdur can get fearless. I forgot about that. You can get fearless if he kills an enemy hero, which is great on a model that has really bad, like not great courage, right?
I think, Charles, to your point, it probably doesn't scale to 800 like super, super well, like you said, with just Buhrdur as the named hero. But from what I've seen, it already scales up to 700 pretty well. I think anything under it could probably easily play at too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The Hill Troll is a really good profile.
Yeah. It didn't gain any shamans, did it?
Well,
as the Angmar one.
It's the Angmar one, which doesn't have Fury.
What spells does it have? It's
Instill Fear, Drain Courage, and Wither.
Yeah, you're not going to take it in this list. You just take it on a Hill Troll.
Yeah. Okay, we have Army of Carn Dum.
If you like Hill Trolls, they're even better here.
Yeah, I know this one has been memed a lot, but it's actually not that bad. But then again, I think the better way to play it is a bit more orc focused. You can sprinkle in some Men of Carn Dum for some courage stuff and like hitting heroes or whatever, but if you go like orc heavy, I think it's a solid army.
I think this one gained trackers as well, didn't it? It used to have them. I don't know if they gained them again. I think it did.
Yeah.
You'd probably go double banner in this, right? And then just have banner on like your whole, like the whole board, basically. That's effective.
Yeah, I think maybe like over 600, you probably go double banner. But the Fight 7 Hill Trolls are nasty. I've had it kill my Legless a couple times.
Aldrich backed up by a couple of them it's scary because you get the triple threat basically, all at Fight 7 effectively on the charge.
Yeah, and then half the time regular warriors are hitting Fight 4, right? So that's pretty solid. Yeah, I think this is solidly in fortitude.
Around 3 trolls?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, I think.
Yeah.
Wolf Pack of Angmar.
Now, this lone wolf isn't a wolf pack, pal.
Puppies!
This is a fun list. the evil version of Riders of Thedan. You get as many of the Wild War Chiefs as you can, fill out with some werewolves, and hoard out numbers with the regular wargs. It's very fun. Obviously, it's not a world beater, but I've actually won a surprisingly amount of games with them, so I know they're not terrible.
Just the only like chieftain spam?
No, you still want some like werewolves and regular wargs to fill out some numbers. You want to be able to like hit the entire line all at once, but you definitely want a good amount of chiefs, like at least probably 3 or 4.
Is it worth getting your general wounded to activate the banner effect?
Yeah, of course, but I don't think people let that happen. At least people who know what they're doing. I always put my chief in the front. No one goes for it. No one shoots a bow at it. Unless they think they can have enough shooting to take it off the board. I don't think it's worth it to give a 6-inch banner.
Yeah, I don't get why everybody was complaining. It's a nice buff to have, but it's like it forces the choice between you. And then it like the odds are most of the games you're gonna play with this, like he's just gonna get wounded anyway. So just take the wound and then boom, your army is better.
At the end of the day, I think this is probably a meme though. So I think this is minor tier, but I like it.
It has a little bit of trouble scaling, right?
Yeah, because you're just dropping Wild War Chiefs, but
What still goes up to what, like 600 probably?
I'd say so, yeah.
I like it better than Azog's Hunters.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's a lot more synergies there.
So
stuff
near the top of minor?
Yeah. Because like the fact that you could get fight 6, right? On the Chiefs, like that's hard to stop for regular warriors.
Yeah. Would it be too high to put it just behind Shadow?
I think I'm good with that.
All right. We're on to some evil men next. The Serpent Horde.
Hold on one sec. There's a massive fly in my room here.
Oh.
I will say I think it's interesting we're dropping a lot more stuff into minor and independent than we are in like the good side list. At least it feels like it. This one, I think you build like you did before. Betrayer, Sul'dan. And then your third pick is kind of up in the air. I like Raza, but he's not as good as he used to be. He was only okay before. Or you go like a king or something. But you mass out the poison. It builds a little different now just because Serpent Guard are restricted, but like it's just your warband comp is weird. Like the build is basically the same in terms of overall numbers. It's just the composition is a little funky from the list building that I've done. So I think it's still really solid.
You still have the Mumak there as well.
I think you get some other fun stuff in this. Actually, I don't know if the Golden King's in this one. I'd have to double check.
The Golden King is not in this one.
Oh, and neither are Watchers of Karna, actually, now that I think about it. They are not.
No. It's just the Raiders, Warriors, Serpent Guard, Serpent Rider.
The Betrayer in there is really solid for what he does. Like this is the list you want to take him in. And he's got he has Panic Steed, is that what he has? What was his special one? I think it's something like that. Which is honestly fantastic for him.
Yeah. I think the question is it better than Harad?
So Harad leans into the Mumax. You have the War Leader and you have a charging rule for War Beasts. This one leans into more of just a horde, I think. You get the one-turn Bane of Kings. And then you also have some Swarm Protector, so it focuses on the troops.
I think it's a limited Swarm Protector, but that's really good. And Sul'dan is not going to be fighting things. Like, you do not use your heroes to fight things in this list. You sit behind the line with them. Sul'dan gives a banner and Swarm Protector. The Betrayer gives the buff to everybody. You have that extra turn for redundancy of the poison in the army bonus.
Yeah, I just don't know if the spammed Harad profile, how good it is in the current meta. Like the fight 3d4. Because that's going to be the majority of your battle line, right? With a limited Serpent Guard.
the way I built it, you still just take like a full warband of Serpent Guard and Suladan's warband.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Your warband composition is a little weird because you have like all your troops in one and all your Serpent Guard in another, but your overall numbers are very similar to the way it used to be. So you're still hitting fight 4 with the banner coverage on most of your list. It is very reliant on the troops, but I think it might be better than it was last edition. It was very potent last edition. That Swarm Protector is huge. It's huge on a list like this. Yeah, there's more stuff at like fight 5, but like you don't really care. You're not paying for like a whole bunch of points for fight 4. You're only paying 8 points for your fight 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more point than your fight 3, right? So like,
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm okay putting this above normal Harad just because I know as good as the Mumax are, like it can be inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even above Barad-dur. Probably. It's probably more flexible.
I would say I
Yeah.
think it has the potential to pip up to Valor, but that's very much remains to be seen, and that's riding on the back of what it did last edition, of what it could do. So,
Yeah.
to be determined.
Yeah. Suladan on horse costs 30 more points now, so
Yes.
he is not as undercosted.
Yeah, and the Betrayer is up 10 points. And you're basically just not taking mounted anymore, but still, like you lose the mobility a bit. So it just comes down to that Swarm Protector. I've played a couple lists with that, and it's fantastic. And then having that on an evil list just feels even better to me. So even though it is like a little bit limited, it still seems really, really solid to me.
Easterlings.
That's the Amdur one.
I mean, it was fine before, and I think it's just better now. Just flat up is better. Got more bonuses. Amber's better. You can get fight 5 in the list now.
Fearless when broken is quite good. A friendly Easterling hero models gain the Fearless. So I guess it's not like the troops, but it allows you to stand fast.
Yeah, but you still everybody gets +1 courage, which is great.
Yeah.
For everybody who's sitting out, and you still get the reroll.
If you get tagged, yeah. So
and then Hatred Gondor again, Ancient Enemies Gondor. Not Hatred. I keep thinking it's Hatred. It's not Hatred.
No.
It's still, I mean, whatever. That's fine. Like, again, like I said before, it's one of those things, because Gondor is so ubiquitous, like, it'll trigger at least once in, like, a 5 game. But you have Halberds, right? You're getting your damage from that, and then from Amdur and, like, the fight 5 being in there.
I think this one's solid, but, again, not a world beater.
The Easterling profiles are solid, and Amdur seems pretty solid, but I think it's somewhere in Fortitude, right?
Yeah. I think probably on the upper end, though.
I would somewhere around Barad-dur.
Oh, I was thinking more middle, but maybe the buffs to Amdur bring this up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they still have a lot of they still have like the drum and
so like around here or in front of Barad-dur?
Yeah, let's do above Barad-dur.
Okay. We have dragons in the north. So this is the all dragon list with dragons and cave drakes.
Yeah, this one's a meme. And the reason for the big difference is that you can't take warriors, right? Like, as good as the fire breathing is, if anyone closes the distance on your dragon and gets the charge in, then your shenanigans are over.
So how does this one compare to Smog? Because it's a similar thing where if you close in on him, he can't spam the breathing fire anymore, right?
Yeah, but dragons are very, very killable compared to Smog.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that a lot of heroes that can go toe-to-toe with a dragon in combat. So I think that is the difference.
Survival instinct can be brutal. Like, yeah, you have the fate, so you can prevent more wounds from happening, and you can prevent like those auto kill things from happening, where Smog just takes half wounds, right? But having to deal with that courage test when you're base courage 6 plus, I think, courage 4 old way, it's pretty rough.
It's cool to have a dragon with 3 upgrades, though.
Yeah, yeah. The army bonus too. It's interestingly written, but like, when are you ever really going to get it?
Just
It's
never
really
gonna
hard.
trick.
Yeah.
To get that 6th one, like unless you're just rolling insanely hot dice, you need a single model to kill 36 of the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the odds do we think that's ever gonna happen? Like unless you're playing Goblin-Town like this.
I think this army shows that dragon is not an unbeatable profile by any means, right?
It's just really strong when it's backed up by a super efficient troop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think it's to the level of where it's not playable and it goes near the bottom?
I still think it's quite solid and played. Like even in the objective ones, the base size is so big on the dragon, you can just sit him down and he controls 2 objectives.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm okay with putting it like the bottom of Fortitude. But it's not competitive at all because there's so many things that beat it in a regular army. Because yes, Fire Breath is insane, but with just 2 or 3 models in the army, you spread everything out, run at the dragon, and then they're not going to be able to burn enough.
You need the defense 9 to make them actually survivable, and you can't. You're gonna want to have one of them have fly and breathe. Yeah,
Is Bomb Fortitude too high? We'll revisit it at the end. Host of the Dragon Emperor. So, as we talked about in our best armies video, this is one of the strongest in
you
armies.
have to make choices now, though. Yay!
Yeah.
So I think having seen how it works a little bit more since the last time we talked about it, I still think it's very good, very, very good at 800. But I do think even slightly below, like let's say 700 and below, it really, really takes a hit. The issue is that before, right, last edition, they were getting like higher than elf numbers. Now you're getting equivalent to elf numbers, so it's more fair. But then, I mean, at 800 points, at lower than 800, you're starting to go below elf numbers a little bit, maybe, because your heroes are even more expensive than a lot of the elf heroes. It feels unplayable at like 500, or not unplayable, but it's definitely not good.
It's really hard to build. I still think it's up there, though.
It is, yeah.
Just by the amount of like fight 5 and like getting the +1 to wound is crazy on like a block like that. Even though it's just on like this is just on one model at the front, but it's still really good.
Where in Legend?
I actually think this is Valor.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
I would put it at the top if it's there.
I think Minas Morgul is better. Okay, not to get into too much of the last edition, but that's kind of the main comparable because people haven't used it much in this edition yet. But even at 800 points, I think the same build is a difference of, I think, 6 or 7 models. That's pretty significant, especially because each Easterling is pretty valuable. And then I'm still saying 800, it's good, right? But then think about that scaling down when you're talking about 600, 650 points or whatever, and you're at the low 30s numbers. Now you take out another 6, 7 models, right? Because the issue is everything in that army got more expensive. So a 32 model like elite army at around 650 versus like a 26, it feels a lot different. Personally, I think you guys should try inputting this into like a list for lower points, but I don't think it's as threatening as S tier.
I'm happy it not being in Legend anymore, but I don't know if Minas Morgul pips it out. Maybe I'm still just overreacting to the power of the Dragon Emperor.
It's never really healed.
I'm just thinking like pretty much all the heroes went up in cost. Dragon Emperor stays the same and got fight 7. Oh,
It is still very good. I'm okay putting it behind Minas Morgul, but I think why I'm pushing so hard for this is because I just don't think you should be that high when you're only truly dominant at 1 points value.
Okay.
Because like I think Minas Morgul you can go at quite a few different points values. I know. If you both feel strongly about it, you guys can go for it. But I think I've seen this in action a couple of times, and that's where I'm kind of at. And also, like, you know, Baz in our channel, he plays a lot of Dragon Emperor, and he has tried it out this edition, and I think he feels similarly as well in that he's a very competitive player, but I don't think he's going to be bringing Dragon Emperor to lower points too.
To be determined.
To be determined, I guess.
Grand Army of the South.
A very good army.
Love it. Evil Soup. Put it up there. Get it up.
Yeah.
Does it get up there? I think it probably gets up there.
I mean, we did put Dragon Emperor above it when we first did our best armies ranking. So I'd have to think about it. This is the best out of the evil soups for sure, right?
I think it's solidly in Valor for sure.
You don't think it pips up to Legend?
It could, but I think maybe it's because I haven't seen the perfect combo yet.
Yeah.
But kind of like Defenders of the Pelennor, it's probably out there.
That's just kind of what I'm thinking. Just the options you have. Army bonus is nothing special, but it's good. The +1 courage on evil models is really good, considering how shit it normally is. Like it is. You are getting a Warhorn for free. That's just 30 points. Just here you go. Not exciting, but really good when you can take when your army bonus is essentially you get a soup list. You get to take whatever you want, right? I've experimented a little bit writing my list with the 3 boys, Dalamir, Amdur, and Suladan, and it's okay. It's not bad, but I think there are definitely better builds you can do, especially if you include the legacy stuff.
I've seen some people experimenting bring chariots or spamming out half trolls, and both of them look really nasty.
Yeah, because the legacy stuff are not locked by who can lead what. Just they can go into any war.
It makes it even better, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty zesty. And then not to mention the fact that you could just slip the Golden King in there as your leader probably, and he's just like, can't get touched.
Can't touch this.
I think looking at these, just the list of options. So the highest ranked soup we have right now is Army of the Great Eye. I think it definitely goes above that, right?
Oh, I think me and Ian are talking above probably Minas Morgul and
maybe Legend.
Like that high.
I'd be happy to put it at bottom of Legend, again, under the caveat that we just haven't seen the right builds yet.
I kind of agree with you, but I just don't know if we should go. I know what you mean, though. Okay, let's put it there for now, but I want to do a quick revisit at the end there because I think it's like could be as good as Depths of Moria, but then maybe we should bring those two down to Valor. We'll see. Because again, because it's kind of like just separating it because we're putting in the same tier as Army of the White Hand, and I don't know.
Well, it's down at the bottom.
Yeah, but is it the same level of power?
Well, nothing's on the same level there. It should be up on its own one, probably.
Yeah. But I think Moria Dragon can be talked in the same breath of like people fear it that way, right?
Yeah.
Let's finish these off and then we could talk about those ones. But I might want to downgrade those ones.
Okay, we're moving on to Legacy. Felbeings of Mirkwood.
Spider Queen. Go.
Razgoosh is kind of spicy now too. So yeah, I think.
I mean, this is literally the list. If you like playing your Spider Queen last edition, you just go play this.
Yeah. I think I would probably just put this at the very top of Fortitude, to be honest. It's like the best way to play the Spider Queen now. in an actual army, and it's always been solid, right?
Yeah. It just has access to like mid troops, but then solid supporting heroes, bats,
Lots of mobility options. You go spiders, bats,
Yeah.
orcs.
I'm just thinking maybe it is around like the other evil soups in Valor then. The Blackgate Usurpers area. I don't hate that level either.
Think Spider Queen's that good now?
Because it's still very powerful that she shoot out the
Broodlings.
broodlings.
But more stuff is like fight 7, which puts strain on her. Other monsters got better, like hurling into her is way easier.
They did change the broodlings a little bit in the sense that you can't move maximum and then shoot out the broodlings. So they're not as good. So Ian, you are right. It's at the beginning of her activation.
Ah, so then she's not as ridiculous as before. So I would keep her. I would put it at top of Fortitude then.
Ooh, Harad. I think we talked about this already quite a bit with the legacies. All these ones, I think. We reviewed the armies and the profiles.
Yeah, so the kings got a little worse. So you're kind of building, you're leaning less on the kings, and half trolls, are arguably better. They have some neat stuff.
I think they are better. They got Dom too, didn't they?
Dom 2, but 2 more points.
Yeah, but like,
And their two-handed is better, and they have the
everyone
whole
gets
army
the
gets the
fury.
6+ save.
Yeah.
I haven't played this new version of Farharad, but I think that and the change to the kings, probably they would be around the same spot they were, I think. Maybe a little lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think last edition we did like maybe Valor, right? Like maybe bottom of Valor. So
Yeah, but that also relied a lot on allying Suladan in, which they don't have that anymore, right? So
That's true.
not as much utility.
I think they're probably still around the Easterlings, right?
Yeah, I'd probably put them somewhere around there.
I would. Yeah. Yeah. Camels are still great. And it's just like the other things supporting them got better. Like, yeah, the Kings went down a little bit, but they're still really good.
They are fight 5 is worse now though.
That is true.
Yeah. So I think around there, I wouldn't be mad if either of
Go
you wanted to put it a little lower either.
split the Serpent Horde and Easterlings.
Okay.
Yep.
Variags of Khand.
Yeah. I don't think the Pure is very good. I mean, I think chariots are fine, but all chariots,
You're playing it for that chariot charge, right?
yeah.
But like the base profile of like the infantry is not that great to back them up. Like it's fine, but you don't get a whole lot for it. Like they're theoretically pointed fine, but it feels undercosted now because like there's nothing, no army bonuses to back them up. They don't have any funky special rules.
Yeah.
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 Probably lower end of Fortitude here. Last
Yeah.
couple, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Above Pit?
I'm good with that. Can you still play the same thing last edition where you just go 100% bow and just spam raiders? I think that's the build, right? If you're not going to go mass chariots, you could probably go mass raiders.
But you probably
Mass
want
horsemen.
It's right.
Because like Ian said, the infantry, I don't know. I don't know how many of those you want to take.
You take a few with bow to sit on objectives.
Yeah. All right. Army of Dunland.
It just somehow doesn't look as good because white hand exists.
Yeah.
I wasn't convinced until I saw those ones that Scott built, and they're basically the same model count, just because of the warbands, the sizes. It's weird.
So basically, you're losing out on everything you get in the White Hand and just take the Dunlin parts out, and then you get the War Cry and the banner range increase, right? It's just way worse than White Hand.
I think at lower points, you get more value out of it, like the War
Mhm.
Cry. The boost from getting like killing from the war cry is really good. So if you can take off like 8 models of the enemy with like one really good turn where you're killing in every fight you win, that has
But
more
they have low fight value. I think that's the issue.
value.
Mhm.
Fight 4 that they get doesn't trigger as well. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a casino to get the activation, but I guess I'm just thinking of 6-inch banner versus 6-inch banner. Army of Carn Dum is better. This is probably around the same level as Army of Gothmog. I think it's fine. It's a semi-horde army, right?
It does gain though. The Wildman having spears is really good. You actually can get cheap spear supports in this list, and you still can horde out decently with them while getting fight or like D5 up front, like you were saying earlier, Richard, with the Rohan stuff. So it's got some play, and I've been a shill for the Trident profile for a long time. So why stop now?
Ravagers of the Shire, Golfin Bull Legion.
Well, this one's actually, you would think it's a meme,
Yeah.
but it's not that bad.
You have the Hill Troll, which we've praised a lot earlier this episode.
Yeah. And you get +1 to wound for outnumber. So I think this is people are just used to looking at the Shire stuff and being like, "Oh, this is a meme," especially the evil side ones. But this is a real army.
Yeah, because you're gonna horde out, right? And you're gonna get that +1 to wound pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, Golfin Bull, as a profile, kind of sucks, but you're gonna just horde out and rely on the troops to do all the heavy lifting.
Maybe
I think there's some stuff you can do with this.
Should we do it before or after alerts of scouts?
You put it that high?
Just for that one rule, I think.
Just for the +1 to wound?
And the Hill Trolls?
It's a pretty easy activation, no?
Did this one get a shaman added to it, or is this the whole list?
It has a
It was a
shaman.
shaman.
Yeah.
What has a shaman? I'm looking at it right now and I'm blind.
It's a real army.
Okay.
I know it's a meme, but it's a real army.
Yeah, this is just take a shit ton of orcs and some hill trolls. Huh. Okay, actually, maybe it is up there. Interesting. I kind of see what you're saying now. If you just take like a ton of orcs and like heroes and the hill trolls and stuff, you just get so many numbers.
Yeah.
One shaman in there for like purge when you need it. Huh.
Yeah. It's like budget Blackgate.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I'm down to put it like behind their scouts, maybe around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assault on Lothlorien.
I don't know how to feel about this one now.
It's lost some steam from before.
It's changed. You still have to get as many like goblins as orcs, but you can mix and match warbands, so there's some increase to flexibility, but yeah, casting's worse. Yeah. We kind of go into it in the legacies video. Obviously at a point in time in MESBG, this was at the top of the pyramid, which it no longer is, but I think it's solidly in Valor. +1 to wound shooting, +1 to wound in combat. You're still hoarding out a bit of magic.
Yeah.
So
you're leaning more into the numbers and the horde and the shooting rather than the weird magic
tricks.
and like assassination tricks you had before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's still a really good trick to fall back on.
Bottom of Valor?
Maybe above usurpers.
Yeah. It's definitely above usurpers.
Does it go close underneath host? Or does it go like higher?
Host of the Witch King? I think it's probably below muster.
Below muster.
But probably higher than Blackgate.
Yeah.
Before, it did melt in combat if you didn't get like a good amount of shooting done. And I think that'll be more of the case now if you're not transfixing the big heroes.
Yeah. More fight 4 around, so more bonuses to wound on other armies.
Okay, the final army, the Spider Queen's Brood.
They can pick up prizes and artifacts. Smart spiders.
This is such a cool looking army. I wish it wasn't in Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of a meme, but I think it'll actually win some games. Like it'll surprise some people. It's not going to be competing for the top, but you'd be surprised if a good player wields it, they're going to win some games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the special rules are really good. I don't know. Like it feels very similar to Wolfpack. Like, does it play? It probably doesn't play the same though, because you only have the one hero. But your mobility is a lot better.
I think it's better than Wolfpack just because the
Really?
Spider Queen is like a danger on her own, right?
Mm.
The ability to win 3 heroic move-offs sounds kind of scary, but your spiders are now fight 3, right? 2 and 3. Yeah.
And are they all on the same base size? They're all bigger?
No, it's the same base
Oh,
size.
they're still on the
Same.
small bases. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Also, the rule where she can avoid being wounded is pretty nice on like on your leader.
Yeah, I guess they do have some good. Like if they win a fight on the charge, they're gonna kill.
Yeah.
Like 5 rerolling ones. That's 4 dice. Yeah.
Your heroes might die too. Foot heroes.
She can cancel her heroic move if she loses it.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're going to get priority like 75% of the game.
But if you keep losing your roll-offs, you still lose that roll-off.
I guess
but
it
you
doesn't
just get
change
your
the
might back.
odds, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
So it's easier to hold on a might into late game. But
Yeah.
I don't even think that's the thing. I think you're just more willing to spend it on heroic moves rather than it lasting into the late game, right?
And
'Cause
it'll be guaranteed to pay off if you use it.
Yeah, because you still only have 3 might. You're gonna have to use some of those for like a defense or a strike or just boosting a roll so you don't freaking die. There's still 3 wounds, no fate, right?
Yeah. But that combos really well with the pounce, right? All the spiders knocking infantry to the ground.
Yeah, and like the protect the Spider Queen thing is really good. Is that just any wound? This is just any wound.
Yeah.
So you probably just have like a couple of whichever, the one that can do the paralyze, just hanging out behind her. Shooting
Yeah,
at
and
random.
they all have 2 wounds, so they won't even die, right?
Yeah.
Spread them around. Do you think this is better than Wolfpack?
I think it's close, but
I'm just reading the thing about the webs. They place the web markers down. That's pretty cool. Just gums up, like he just forces difficult terrain in an area.
yeah, I do agree this is probably similar to Wolfpack.
Yeah.
But
I think it can be pretty good in scenario packs when your whole army ignores terrain.
mhm.
Right? And they all move 10. A few of them move 12, right? If you take some bats.
All right, let's generate some hype. Let's put it above Wolfpack.
Still in minor.
Okay,
The webs are-
controversial, top of minor. Above Gullivar.
Sure.
Sure. Richard's hating on Gully right now, so
Okay. So I guess looking at our final rankings, I think my disputes here are moving Depths of Moria and Grand Army down, and also potentially Dragons of the North. I don't know if it should be a minor as well.
So you mean down to minor, not with fortitude? Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm good with this one. Grand Army going to Valor, also because you guys have said that there is potential for really powerful combos, but not necessarily seen yet. Depths, there has been success, right, with them. What do you guys think about Depths? Do we put it down as well?
What I'm thinking of right now is like, I know it's like really, really efficient with like the global banners, but it seems a bit one trick. Like it's goblins and Balrog, and people are starting to have more experience with it. And now with like way more profiles, new scenarios, whatever, I'm just wondering if they're starting because they didn't really gain anything new, right? So it's kind of like,
But
yes, they were up there for sure for 6 months, but I'm just wondering if they've been kind of caught up a little bit.
so I think it still stays up there. Global Banner, really good. VP Denial, really good. I just I listened to a podcast on not the Masters. What's it called? The one that was oh god, that big tournament,
Nations Cup?
Nations Cup, and it was like almost every single team had a Depths of Moria on it.
But that's based on the first 6 months stuff.
Yeah, but I still think it's proven.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think just to play devil's advocate for Dragons of the North, because they have access to the Breathe Fire, you're always going to have that chance where they have those first 2 turns of shooting, maybe 3 turns, and just do enough damage where your army won't be able to come back, right? If they kill the right targets.
But if you're only playing against 2 models, you spread out kind of like if you're playing like mass siege weapons, it'll be annoying as hell. But
Yeah.
if you don't put anyone within 2 inches of each other and then march up against 2 models,
So you have to go fly and breathe fire, right? So you can get the 6 inches of movement and still shoot.
Hmm.
Then you're still probably only getting 3 chances to shoot. And out of that, then if you're moving for a couple of them, you're probably only hitting twice.
yeah.
Unless you start spending might to like guarantee you're getting more. So like is
And then-
3 enough? I don't know.
And
Yeah,
then
it's minor.
if you're not clumping your models, what, you're killing 2 guys a turn?
Okay, yeah, it's minor.
It's not like the lightning, right? Like where the lightning where it's like it's a point and it's like it's basically 4 inches across. This is on a model.
On a model.
Yeah.
It's much easier to like space out. It just I don't know.
I think it's annoying, but I don't think it's actually good because you have nothing to back it up. Spreading is fine, right? Because once you tag them, you might not even need to kill the dragons. You feed them 1 a turn and you just do whatever objective in the scenarios.
Hmm.
What if you would dragon breathe fire and then just drakes and you use the drakes just to hold up the line and breathe fire and everything behind that's out of range?
That's like you get like one more model though. That's it.
So it's
Yeah, but that's a big
drakes,
base.
2 drakes and a dragon, and then the dragon like shooting from behind the wall of drakes.
That's a big bases to block stuff up, and the drakes
How many-
don't run or die.
How many points are you playing?
650.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. I mean, even if I move to minor, it would be at the top of minor, so I'm not going to fight too hard. I'll give this to Ian.
I was thinking of moving it down a few spots, but
We can leave it in Fortitude. I mean, it is dragons.
Ian, you would prefer to leave it in Fortitude?
I think so.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking of like it is a bit of a meme, and yeah, only 2 models, but I'm just thinking the success that other all monster lists have had so far. And they do have a high dominant and they do have a big base, so that means they can sit on multiple objectives. So even then it's not like objectives are like a big weakness.
Yeah, but big base also means easy to trap and easy to block off, right?
Yeah, and the courage and
Hard to
survival.
land. Yeah, and the survival instinct. Your army can run away if you are on survival instinct.
On D7. Okay, fine. 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 Put them on mine, top of mine. Just on the survival instinct. You brought me back down because of that. On
Yeah.
Courage 6+, it's bad. It's bad. And only D7 with all the modifiers that are around. Yeah.
Shout out to our awesome Patreon community. Check out Patreon for more details, which includes extra perks like extra content and custom dice. I also want to shout out our sponsors. Check out the Baron of Dice website for a wide range of dice, including for Middle-earth. And check out the Mithril Brush painting contest dedicated to Middle-earth. We're doing a giveaway for all patrons who've entered by the end of the year. Links in the description below.
This has been our final rankings for all of the Forces of Evil armies. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to our patrons. Thank you, Brandon. We'll see you all next time.